How is it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar. You're not astonishing, Melanie. Who are you?
My name is Rob64 Games. Hello, hello, hello.
How did you sneak in here? Take your mask off. Who are you?
Heyo, I'm Omnidog.
Omnidog. And
Omnidog's fault. Oh, nice.
From.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
That was Lars. It was a thing for Lars. It was a setup for Lars. Lars.
Wait. Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Who are you?
Who am I? Wait. Let's go right over here. Is it my turn?
You said you were bringing your A game, and you don't even know who you are.
Oh no, I didn't think Jess was done. I was actually trying to be respectful for once. Jess,
I said hi to Maddie. That's all.
Okay. As you can tell, we planned this all in advance, folks. It's been long scripted and organized.
I can keep talking to Maddie if you want. That's fine.
Jess.
Hey, what's up?
Fine. I will go first. Lars Pearson, publisher and editor-in-chief of Mad Norwegian Press, formerly of Wizard Magazine. And yes, I mean, it was a lucky day that about 9 minutes ago, Omar texted to say, hey, we're doing this show, and would you like to join? And, you know, Memorial Day in my household used to be a big deal because my father was in the Air Force, so he'd get on his uniform, he'd be in the parade, you would bike to the Legion Hall, you would get free food. But now that Dad's gone, it's not a big deal. I was just lounging in my bed reading New Avengers. So happy to be here.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. Rob, who are you for people that don't know?
Okay.
It's been a while since we've done a video together.
Yeah, it has been a minute. It's been a minute. So I'm Rob. I'm a video game connoisseur, lover. I work at a place called Gun Interactive. We've done some scary games. Friday the 13th, the game, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Layers of Fear, some other cool things that are coming down the pipeline. So if you like video games, I'm the guy to talk to. What's up?
That is Rob from our days on Near Mint Condition. It's still
Collective.
Condition.
Yeah, it's
Collective
still
is what it's split off to.
Oh, also, I love bourbon.
So he brought bourbon for me. So it's going to be fun. OGs. That's right. The OGs know Rob. And TikTok Tina. What's up, Tina?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just nerding out. I was on a live with you yesterday. Well, it was the AMA. So
yeah. And last but not least is Maddie. Hey, Maddie.
Hey, what's up? Good. Sorry, guys, I haven't been on here a lot. I've been traveling.
No, you've been busy.
I'm just now getting back to a normal daily routine. So.
International woman of mystery.
Just in time for the summer too. So normal routine. So 9 years. That's right. Feels like you've been here about 30.
Feels like, is that a compliment or a?
Jess, you missed one of the biggest backhanded compliments I've ever had. We had a young lady on the Evergreens, and she said, "Thank you for having me, Omar. I grew up watching you," and just like that, I felt it.
What?
I grew up watching you.
I grew up watching you. That I wasn't expecting that.
You were near me.
I think we've been around enough for someone to grow up watching you.
Well, I think she's 20. So if you think about it,
it was 11 years ago. Or she was 11 9 years ago. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was weird. It hurt, and I was very I was very moved, but it also like, man, how did that happen? How did we get here? That's crazy. It's almost been a decade. Thank you, Tina. It was Liz. That's how she kicked it off. She's like, "Thanks for having me."
Did you kick boot her?
No, I was being a good host. So, in case you are new here, Tina, myself, and Rob with our buddy Andrew and Dan. I don't know if they'll make it or not. I think Andrew said he was going to be here. Kicked off the channel 9 years ago. It was a little different. It was a panel channel. We were still trying to find out what we wanted to do, and then about a year later, Maddie and Amanda joined us, and then we started doing our own thing with it, and yeah, it's been a blast. It's been crazy. Like, it's morphed into what I do now, and they're still cooking. You guys still at Near Mint Collective?
Near Mint Collective. Occasionally, we try and get on stream and do nerdy things, but yeah, what's really awesome about this when this started 9 years ago, almost 10 years, almost a decade ago, it was that Omar was like, hey, can we get together and just talk nerdy stuff, geeky stuff, talk about the things that we love? And I was like, thank you for letting me be a part of this, because I don't get a chance to talk about video games, or you don't get a chance to talk about comics. Tina doesn't get a chance to talk about in a manga, with these toys. Like we didn't get a chance to talk about these things. We could actually just geek out
No, it's nice
and do that. So yeah, and now the fact that this has grown to how many subscribers do you have? 1,000 subscribers.
Over 1,000.
1,000.
I remember when we hit 9,000. We're like, it's over 9,000.
Oh, I remember when my buddy Chris Sparrow like subscribed with his second account to get us to 100.
Get to 100. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that took like 3 months to get to 100. And I was like, I finally told him when we got together this past March, I was like, hey man, you can unsubscribe from your secondary account.
No, do not. It'll go back.
Doesn't help.
Grab their thing back.
Mr. Omar, we all grew older with your ramblings. Well, get ready to get older because I'm gonna ramble because Rob brought the bourbon. Thank you, Elon, for the super sticker. Congratulations, Omar. When I started watching you, I was a speckled-faced teen liar. Agree, married with the lies. Those are lies, too.
Fast work, my friend. Fast work.
Actually, this is such a great question. How many
Yeah.
DC reboots have there been
Wow, that is a
since
great
this all started?
I mean, at least 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
We went through Rebirth, right? Was that the first one?
Yeah.
Rebirth?
Yeah. Because
And
I
then-
joined in around Rebirth.
Oh God, I think 3, right? 3 or 4.
I mean, what even
Three
counts as
seems to be
reboot with the DC anyways? You know what I mean? It's not clear anymore.
But yes, and then amongst my journey on YouTube, I made a lot of friends, including 2 of the wonderful people that joined us here today, Lars and Omnidog. Lars's origin is one of my favorite to share because he used a third party to reach out to me. And it was a lady friend of yours, right, on Twitter.
Yes, because I wasn't on Twitter.
And she reached out to me through Twitter, and it was this email, like it was a message that was like, hey, my friend Lars used to work at Wizard Magazine. He doesn't have a Twitter account. He wanted me to reach out to you. And at first I thought, that's so weird. Like, why didn't he email me like a normal human being?
I didn't have your email.
And she was like, he wants to be a part of your show. So I was like, what did I do? I think I replied back to her like, I don't know what I told her to get a hold of you, and I was like, yeah, just have him email me. I think that would happen, and then
I don't know. You were on Twitter, and I wasn't on Twitter. I mean, this makes sense in my fevered labyrinthine brain. I don't know. And
that's how Lars and I became friends. And now we go to conventions together and have a blast. And then Omnidog, I was asked to join Omni Bros in 2017. I think 2017 is when
but we met before that in the
when I sold you some books.
I still have them. Man of Steel, and you put them up for sale, and I said, "Hey, dude, I'll buy them." And you're like, "No, that's not how you buy things. You've got to try to negotiate." I'm like,
you know how
to willing me to negotiate? Okay, can I have them for 85 instead of 100? And you're like, yeah, that's better.
That sounds like you.
Help you bros out. Yeah,
man. I didn't even know him. I was just like, this guy's offering me what I'm asking. Who does that? Well, good. Who's got that much money?
Man, Omar stresses me out when he starts haggling for comics.
Oh, Tina gets all anxiety, and she has to take like her anxiety pill when she's around me and haggling.
Tina, just let the magic happen.
I can't. If I'm not in China, I'm not haggling.
I know you haggle almost for a hot dog at a comic book.
It makes it sound like some sort of back alley operation.
What's the worst they can say? No. Right? That's it.
Yeah, that's awful.
That's awful.
No, it's a big
what if they're mad at me?
Yeah, actually,
some people do get mad when you haggle with them.
If you're on eBay and there's a button that says "Make me an offer," even if it's like $5, I'll still be $350.
Yeah. Here's your suggested offers. Get that out of here.
$350.
I've been haggling all my life. Oh, by the way, my wife is the same way. Melanie hates haggling. As a matter of fact, she's the type of person that when we go and get a car, she will pay extra money. So, like,
hey, you need the spray job, the paint, the wheels.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So she knows, like, when I go with her, it's a completely different adventure.
No, man.
Now, before we get started really quick, yesterday during the AMA, like we kicked off the AMA, I was getting a text message from a really good friend of mine telling me that Peter David had passed away.
Yeah.
And it was a really weird way to kick off the AMA because usually it's funny. It's like people come in with all these weird questions, and it was just, emotional because we know that he'd been sick for the last couple of years. Melanie and I have donated many times to his GoFundMe, but it's very similar. Like, you know, he was on dialysis. It reminded me a lot of my dad, and it's so unfair that when you have somebody like Peter David in comics, you know, you had this like presence of just like unbelievable talent, this wit, this like everything that he wrote had like this weird mixture of funny and like deep, philosophical, and I don't think I can think of another writer that I was happy to see on a book. Like if I saw his name on a book, I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I can't think. I love Chris Claremont. I can't even say that about Chris Claremont. Like Peter David was the man. So in the description of the video, I did share his GoFundMe. If anybody wants to go and donate, the GoFundMe will now go to his wife and his daughter because of the healthcare system sucks, and they are now have to. The same thing happened to us. It was like we have to pay for my dad's like the last few visits, and while he was at the hospital, all the bills still come in his name and stuff, and it's ridiculous. Like, I just lost my dad, and now here's a bill, right? It's awful, but I'm gonna miss his writing. Like he was one of the very best. He wrote Star Trek novels, wrote TV episodes for like Babylon 5. So it wasn't just limited to like comic books. Guy was a legend. He wrote one of my favorite video games. Oh God, it was on the Xbox. It was a Metroidvania game.
Metroidvania on Xbox.
It was one of the best ones. I can't remember what the heck it was called now, of course, because it just it leaves. I don't know. Somebody in the chat will probably know.
Chat, look it up for us. That's amazing.
I got to interview Peter David via email for my high school senior project in 2005. I asked him advice how to be a good comic writer, and he said, "Don't suck."
Yeah,
that's right.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's 100% true.
Yeah, it is.
Peter David evergreen list. You know, Curtis actually suggested that. It would be really fun, and honestly, we all come, you know, with our own thoughts about what his best stories are. That would be good. Shadow Complex. Thank you. That's it.
Shadow Complex.
Yeah,
yes,
he wrote that. That's why it was so good. One of the reasons I actually like Arkansas: spouses are not responsible for medical bills after their husbands.
Really?
Yeah, each state is different, right? Each state is different,
I
which
wonder
is ridiculous.
Do you know?
I'm sure they still try to collect.
Anything in the queue that we might see posthumously?
Well, that's the thing. He was in the middle of working for something at Marvel. I don't know how far he got. It was a mini series, I think, because he was known for doing these retro series, like the Joe Fixit retro series or the Maestro, which is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was working on. It would have been cool to see him go back to do a Janice Fell story, but
well, he did do one of those as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he was working. Well, no, then Ron Mars did one too.
Yeah.
Continuing the story of Legacy and Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But,
you realize just how irreplaceable some people are, because I those go sound insane. I don't know that any writer ever has meant more to me personally than Peter's work. I'm not just comics, but like any writer ever. It's because, as you say, some writers are really good at drama. Some writers are really good at comedy. Some writers are really good at, you know, kind of a good, strong ethos. But Peter could do all three in the same scene. Yeah. And he could make it seem so natural, you know, and his character development was astonishing. I mean, I actually have night terror syndrome, and so I have to be careful what I read before bed. And Peter's comics really actually would, I feel, diminish my night terror syndrome. It's because I was just kind of in sync with the humanity and the comedy that they would supply. And you stop and think to yourself, well, surely someone else can do this. And then you realize not many writers can. Voices are so distinct. So
yeah. I agree.
We actually not to make this about me, but we actually did a book with Peter. We did this.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, it was a collection of his But I Digress columns here, and he was writing the But I Digress for Comics Buyer's Guide, and he kept the copyright, and so we just decided to do this book. And it was really funny at the time because I told him, I'm like, we have room in the budget if a colleague of yours would do an introduction. And there was one name I was hoping he would say, and then he emailed me back to say Harlan Ellison will do the introduction. I'm like,
yes,
that's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. So it's got an intro by Harlan.
Look, Dana already knows which book it was.
Yeah, there we go. Forward. Yep, there we go. No, it was a great time doing it. I mean, I bumped.
Hi, this is Peter.
Sorry about that, Lars. I did not mean for that to start playing all of a sudden. So go on.
I would bump into Peter at DragonCon, and I went up to him to kind of pitch this book that we should do this collection of But I Digress. And so I had everything very prepared what I was going to say. And he's like, well, let's take a West Wing meeting because I have to go to another panel. So we're walking to another panel and I'm giving him, it's like, okay, I really want you to do this thing. And the funny thing was, I was so into and focused what I was saying. He actually said yes. And I kept going.
With your pitch?
Yes. I was like, he's like, dude, I've said yes. You blew right past it. And some months later in that year, a conversation in an X Factor unfolded in exactly the same fashion. And I was slightly convinced that this is the conversation I had with Peter, wasn't it? Anyway, yeah, I just a terrible, terrible loss of a very unique voice. And it's difficult to process.
The clip I'm about to show you, I've never aired. It's so weird because I also had one of George Perez from the same convention, and I never aired it up until he ended up getting sick, of course, with cancer. And I was like, well, I'm going to play it really quick. But with Peter David, it was our first year. I think it was 2016 when we went to DragonCon.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Peter David. And I had interviewed him a couple times on my old podcast. And he was so kind. He remembered me. So I was like, hey, can you give me like a quick little, like, you're watching Near Mint Condition? And he was like, sure. What do you want me to say? And I'm like, whatever you want to say, because you're the funny guy. And he was like, really? And I was like, yes, really. So this is what he decided to go with. Let me see if I can add it to the stage.
This is Peter David, and you're watching Near Mint Condition. And when I think of you, I touch myself.
And that, in a nutshell, is Peter David.
Hell yeah.
He was. Quip, like he was like he wasn't ready for some a-hole to come up to him and ask him to do like a quick little thing.
Awesome. I think this was the secret of his success, is that in his writing he would just say, characters would say things that, in the moment, if Peter had been there, he would have been thinking. And like sometimes he was just espousing what people were thinking. Because honestly, I might have thought of that joke when I was sitting there, but a lot of people won't say it. So yeah, just be a little unfiltered, and you can make some headway.
He was, man. Him and George loved Dragon. Like they loved DragonCon. And Tina and I were talking about our experiences at DragonCon last night. Yeah. How it's kind of turned into like this big carnival party, like or Mardi Gras, if you will.
It's right? Mardi Gras for Geek.
I could totally see George and Peter just down there in the first floor with these half naked chicks, like everywhere.
Well, they would
absolutely.
Yeah. They would co-host the Masquerade, and Peter and George,
of course,
Peter and George together co-hosting the Masquerade. It was outstanding. It was really outstanding.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's so weird now that both Peter and George are gone that we're not going to see those days anymore, which sucks.
I somewhat worried that my relationship with Fandom will never quite be the same, because one of the great joys of going to DragonCon was that you would go to Star Trek panels with Peter David, and he would just be thoroughly entertaining every single minute that he was up there.
Jess, what's your favorite Peter David story? Like comic?
It took me by surprise there.
Surprise!
You called on me. I think that Max and Freddie and I did a readathon of the X Factor Omnis last year. And I thought this is the newer X Factor, not the
investigations.
Yeah, it's the one with Maddox as the head investigator. And I thought it was hilarious and fun, and turning it into the investigative unit with Strong Guy and whoever else was there. We just loved reading those books. I think we read like all 3 of them in a weekend practically. We just devoured them.
And as funny as they are, there were some like holy crap moments in that run. I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't read it, but like the whole thing with the baby, holy crap! Like what? That is dark.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was the same way. Like halfway through the story, you're like, whoa. This is Keenan. Keenan is the gentleman that did the introduction. Like he does our intro. He's worked on a lot of projects in Hollywood. He used to do Flash and Arrow, right, at the CW. He did the special effects for that. And
wow,
he's the gentleman that put the intro together. And then like any swipe you've ever seen on the channel or names, like it's all Keenan. Guy's super talented, and yes, a big part of this too. Is that Rob, the video game dude, sitting in one video? Oh, I like this. I love this guy. This guy?
I want to snapshot this. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. Like I said, it's Memorial Day. We're having a cookout with my brother-in-law who lives very close by. It's like, oh, I got to run home, bring the computer to do a stream. Like, wait a minute. I'll just go to his house.
Yeah, just go to the house.
Steal Melanie's seat for like 10 minutes.
She's getting ready. I don't know what she's doing. She's getting ready.
If she appears, I'll roll out.
Congratulations on 9 years. Can't believe I've been watching you and Jess since February 2019 with my first Omni, Tomb of Dracula Volume 1, coming back to print, by the way, in September. As you know, I'm lucky to be here today. Yeah, Brian had a big health scare.
Yeah.
I think it was like just last month. He flew all the way to America to go to Vegas to see a wrestling match and had a heart attack.
Oh, my gosh.
Didn't even get to see WrestleMania.
No, you didn't even get to go.
No,
went to the hospital.
That was the next question I was
He's
going to ask.
the whole time in the hospital.
But he's alive, which is the most important thing.
Amen. That's
right.
Awesome.
Yeah, they found a bunch of things that could be fixed here, and they fixed them and then sent them back to England.
How are there already questions for Rob? You ain't even
hold on.
Let
me ask this question. Hey, Rob. First of all, thank you, Carl. It's good to see you. Do you know if AEW will ever bring back the Texas Chainsaw Championship belt? There's a possibility. So if you want these type of things, get on social and ask for them. Yeah, and we actually have that belt in our studio, so we can.
What do you?
Yeah,
that's
totally
awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch the video later, but I wanted to say happy 9-year anniversary. Here's to more. Thank you, man. Congratulations. I'm hoping to be seeing you on your 20th anniversry. 20 years.
20 years.
Man, I'll be how much
by then the people who grew up with the channel will have many children. So
don't do that,
I think I've added children since that we started this.
Oh, it's crazy, right? Like I think about like how old my youngest was, and I don't like to think that. And Curtis, who I just did a video with earlier today. Come on in, baby.
No. I want to swap out.
Or I can sit behind you guys.
No, I want to swap out. I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this awesome journey.
Bring it in. I love you, man. You're a big part of this.
And I see, like, the fans, how you connect to people, how you connect artists, you're making things happen. Like the passion that you have of all this, it just exudes and out into the industry and out into the people and out into people's hearts. And like, it's awesome to be a part of that. I want you to keep doing what you're doing.
I want to say one more thing. Rob is always a reminder, like when we were younger, when I was in high school and he was still in college, we were both like determined that no matter what in life, we would end up working in the video game industry and in the comic industry. And I swore one day we would.
And here we are. Boom.
Love you, man.
Love you too. Appreciate
in a way, right? Like making YouTube videos about comics.
Like, subscribe, smash that notification icon so you get notifications the second they drop.
Sort of like
okay.
Get out of here.
Good to see you guys.
Can I have a little more bourbon before you leave?
Let's do 9+ years to near mint condition.
A little more. Just
little more.
Rob, is someone driving you?
Yeah, he's got to drive.
He can walk. He can walk.
No. It's all good. Cheers. Near mint. Come cheers.
All right.
We're gonna be blessed. Out.
All right. Bye, Rob. And coming in is Curtis. You're tapping in. Curtis, how are you,
Hello.
buddy?
I'm doing just fine. Congratulations on 9 years. That's a pretty good milestone.
Thanks, man. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here, dude.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
It is that epic guy.
Yes, it is. He is as epic as they come. What's up, Curtis? Happy anniversary, guys. Wanted to say congrats and great to see my favorite YouTubers. What's up, Doug? And the king of Epic. Is that what you are? Is that how you claim yourself to be, the king of Epic Collections, Curtis?
That's what other people say. I don't have a crown.
Where does that put the DC Finest then? If you are the king of Epic Collections. Oh, thank you, baby.
He's the queen of DC Finest. Obvious.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you do that? No, the DC Finest guy. Look at that. And our buddy Phil.
Hey, Phil, good to see you.
I hope his feeling
Phil's been
better.
quiet recently. He hasn't been around much on the group, so it's good to see him here.
Yeah, it's always good to see. He was on Saturday, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen him for a while. The Emperor of Trade paperback.
Aw,
That's a
the
good one.
Jester of Marvel.
The Jester.
The Jester?
That's Josh.
I was
Nice.
the bar saying of it. Okay.
And Melanie.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Melanie.
I passed my karate test. Yay!
So what are you
Yeah.
Nikyu and Aikiho. Jiu-Jitsu.
What does that mean?
It means second brown. And as an auxiliary art, because like you can like there's the main art, and then you can like there's just Aiki Jiu-Jitsu moves that I'm learning, and you can earn ranks. So that's
Does
why
that mean you get another stripe on your belt?
No, your belt doesn't change. It's just like it's because it's not the main art that I've been in
Okay,
for like
gotcha.
over a decade, right? And
What belt do you have in the main art?
5th degree black belt.
And
And I have a 2nd degree black belt in karate, and then second brown in Aiki Jiu-Jitsu. Only got like 1 rank in Jiu-Jitsu. I think that's it.
One more than me.
what's the belt you have for comics?
Oh gosh, you're the one that's like Shihan level or Hanshi
That's
level.
right. I have the Shihan level.
I don't know what that means.
I might be a third
You're
degree.
master level.
Miss Marvel Red Sash.
Marvel.
I might be a third degree white belt in Kempo, but
What I'm hearing here is that Omar sleeps with one eye open because, you know.
I don't sleep, Lars. That's
Oh,
what I
okay.
said.
Well, there you go.
Gently caress that like button. Thank you, Shonda Sook. And Melanie does have a symbiote.
I've never thought about training Rays. Ray should learn a
Hey,
thing.
Matt, how are you doing, buddy? Omar, for the 9th anniversary, you need an Alf cake.
Oh, I forgot I was gonna wear my Alf shirt, and I didn't. I wore this.
No, we don't need it. It's second brown. That's
That's
some
okay.
quality digest. Gross.
Ew.
Yes, what are you drinking? That better be root beer.
It is.
Yeah.
Yay.
Here's to the late night of editing, the milestones you've hit, the lessons you've learned, and the memories made along the way. And there's so much more to come. Thank you, Omnibo. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Hey, Omni Nation, what's up, buddy?
Nation.
This channel has impacted my life to the max, not just from Omni content, but your heart for the community. Be encouraged, Broham. You're killing. Oh, thank you, buddy. Man, yeah, it's crazy, like where we started and where it is now, and it's still fun. It's a lot of work, but it's still fun. And I don't think I could do anything. I don't think I could do anything else. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to function behind a desk anymore.
Well, you do get lonely though, working from home.
You don't have to share
I think
that.
you would. Why? you would appreciate.
Okay, the company. I do.
Oh, poor Omar.
He found
I
him
do.
crying under his desk.
I'm an extrovert, so I do miss people. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sucks.
that's like torture for an extrovert doing what Omar is, because he's like, man, I've been stuck in the house all day, and I'm like, oh, that'd be
God, I
perfect job for
wish.
me.
God,
But
I
Omar's like a rat in a cage. He's like, let me out, let me out.
Oh yeah, and then Melanie's like, I just want to come home and chill, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I want
you
to get the
go out,
fudge
like,
out of here.
I want to go home.
If I could be at home all day and not talk to people, I would have so much energy to do other things.
You and Jess.
Oh,
I would be great.
I
Oh,
wish we could just have another quarantine.
yeah,
There's
right?
Much.
Jess.
Just
No,
quarantine. I'm not asking for
No.
I'm not asking for any COVID. Just just
Yeah,
a lockdown for 6 months. Stay home.
Personal
That's my Olympic.
quarantine.
I'm with you, Jess.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
in hell, man. I hated being here. Like, not with my family. I'm just saying, like, I couldn't get out with my friends. Like, it was awful, dude. No
Oh,
way.
it was heaven on earth.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
been training for it my whole life.
What about you, Lars?
Sorry, what's the question?
Are you the extrovert or introvert? Wait, what do you need?
Please, need you even ask? Extrovert, definitely.
You wrote up 1.1 million words of Doctor Who timeline. So
well, yeah, no.
Like some alone time.
Unfortunately, well, actually, I'm at a stage where I need to get out and be even more social because you know you get a little older, people move away, people pass away. I have friends, for the record. I have friends, but you know, things have happened and relationships have changed, and I need to probably do a little more of that. But no, I'd much rather be out talking to people than sitting at home. Yeah.
I mean, I like talking to people that I like. It's just that talking to people at work I don't like. You know what I mean?
Well, fair.
That's
now
not real.
the other
That's not real.
the other extroverts, though. I mean, do you find that you know you have a certain social relationship, and if it goes badly, then it can put you off, you know, socializing for a while. But if you're an extrovert, you want to socialize. You become like a vampire who suddenly has this aversion to blood, right? Because you have to go socialize, but you're like, but then I'll meet people and it will go badly. So, yeah. But you do the best you can.
Hey Matt, Omar, your content kept me company through the toughest year of my life, losing my mom, and then you reaching out to me and email meant so much. Thank you, my brother, dude. I've been there. I just recently lost my dad. It sucks. It's awful. It's the worst thing.
It is.
We were really close, so I know you were close with your mom. So I feel you, man, and I'm glad I could keep you some company.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Peter David earlier, Curtis. What's your favorite Peter David comic? Like, if you had to pick one, like to suggest people read, what do you like?
Oh man, that's
so many, right?
Hard question. That's a hard question. You know, I get through. I can read like one of the classic epic collections. I take about a week and a half to get through it. That's my average. And because I take my time, you know, and you know, some of those ones are just hard to read because it's a lot of wordy, especially if you get to the Silver Age stuff. But then the Incredible Hulk, Ghost of the Past, I read in 2 days because it was so good. And that's the thing that stands out to me when I think of Peter David. I also really like his X Factor when he started X Factor in the 90s. That little short run of his there was really excellent too.
I love his the gag with the mayonnaise jar that he kept bringing back, and he brought back later. Oh, yeah, he was.
But you know, I also really like Marvel versus DC just for the sheer over the topness of it. And he wrote two, like I think the second and fourth issue of that, right?
Yeah,
with
so he was writing for Marvel. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
He was writing the Marvel.
And Dan Jurgens did the other ones, right? Or was it the other way around? No, Mars. Ron Mars. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Did Peter David not do any of that? Let me check.
It's okay. TikTok Tina, I love the name. That's how she goes by. She's been going by that for a long time now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, Ron Mars and Peter David. Yeah, they traded off the issues, and I just have such a soft spot for that. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No. I asked you first what your favorite Peter David was. Your favorite Peter David comics were. Tina, TikTok Tina.
Yeah, because I've been doing some TikToks because I couldn't think of an adjective for myself, and I was like, I don't know.
Carl, thank you so much for the super chat.
Bob the Goon.
9 years, no way. Near Mint and Omni Dog were some of the biggest channels I visited when I dove into collected editions.
Wow,
you're still here. You're still here. Thank you.
I have a student whose last name is D. Wolf, and the first thing I said to her was, "Hey, that's a Spider-Man character." That's it. That's my story.
The death of Jean DeWolf from Spectacular. Oh my gosh, I had there was a printing of the first printing of the hardcover has one of my favorite intros I've ever read by Peter David. He talks about how he was in college and he was out of comics, and you know he saw, like, he went to a party, and much like all comic book nerds, we gravitate towards comic books even at parties, and he started looking through one of his friends' comics, and he just out of curiosity, he was like, "So did Peter and Gwen get married? Like, what's going on?" And the guy was like, "No, they killed Gwen." And Peter was like, "What? Why would you do that? How could you do that? Like the fans, like, how could you treat your fans like that?" And it's funny, that was the introduction to the, because he killed the character of Jean DeWolf in that book. And he just talked about how it kind of emotionally drains you because you treat these characters like they're real people. Yeah.
Well, and I think he said in interviews, like, people would still expect that comics being where death is a revolving door. They just kept assuming that Jean's going to come back at some point. And they're like, well, when are you bringing Jean back from the dead? He's like, no, she's dead. And they're like, no, yeah. But when are you going to bring? He's like, she was killed with a shotgun blast and we saw her rotting corpse. She's gone. But people don't like to believe it.
We have a couple of questions I thought it'd be nice to open up to the panel. This first one, if you ever run out of room for collecting comics, how do you make room? How do you make room, guys?
More room.
I will the
impossible question.
Yeah, I've thought about this often because we moved to a bigger house so I can have more room. So what I'm gonna do is rent space at Tina's house. We're gonna get rid of her cat room. And
Where?
I'm in my cat room, which I'm turning into my manga room.
I don't think your cats are gonna like that, Tina. I'm gonna make a tiny home. My wife's always wanted a tiny home, so there you go. We're gonna make a tiny home in our backyard for my comics.
I think it's either more bookshelves, or if you truly don't have the room, then you have to
expand.
And I'm not good at this, so I'm giving you advice other people give, which is look through your collection and see what you really want to keep, and what are your maybes, and what are you really not would you not miss if it weren't there. Now, I'm not one of the people who sells anything. I don't like to get rid of my stuff. So I'm not the person to listen to. But people that I heard that do that are probably really helpful.
According to the people who know about those things.
Thank you, Biff Van Pal.
You have to start. You don't have a problem until you're out of room on your floor. I have tons of floor piles.
Yeah, that's when you become a hoarder. That's the difference.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing I was going to say. There's a line. Once it becomes a hoard rather than a collection, that's when you've got a problem. You've got to let some stuff go.
That's just like the fellow said, I got rid of my wife, problem solved.
Oh, that's
well, I hate to sound boastful, but some of us have discipline in the first place because, as I keep saying, I have at most 650 collected editions, which is chump change compared to what some of you have. I don't really get overburdened.
Well, look at this newbie over here, 650.
Well, I live in a generous sized house, and 650 doesn't overwhelm you. Yeah.
So going back to Biff.
I wanted to. This is Gianni who joined us on Thursday for the Evergreen chat, and Gianni, right after Lynn said, "I grew up watching your channel." He introduced himself and he was like, I also grew up watching your channel because he's also a young man. I thought, okay, you all need to stop this nonsense.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. So thank you, Johnny. It was a pleasure having you on, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Silhouetted Animator, for the super chat. Happy 9 years. Much love, Near Mint Crew. Thank you. We have another question here for somebody who's new to comics and asking for some recommendations.
All right, one book each of you.
Yeah. Does anyone have comic recs? I'm newish to comics.
One book, Lars. Just one book.
Well, this is where I start to ask them questions about what do you like. I like a
no, you can't really can't recommend.
A little more information pertaining to genre.
He obviously likes Spider-Man. Give him a Spider-Man book.
Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh wow!
Okay,
damn. Why do you take mine?
Unless that's too grim and depressing. In which case, Spider-Man 2099.
Okay.
I've never read Spider-Man 2099.
It's excellent.
Because when I was a kid in middle school, I was like, I don't want anyone besides Peter Parker. And then Ben Reilly showed up. I was like, I'm done. I quit.
How do you feel about Miles Morales? How do you feel about Miles Morales?
I like him, but I don't want to. I'm not compelled to read comics about him. I want to read about Peter Parker.
One. Maddie, one book. Recommend.
Okay, if you're looking for big two, I'll say Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
And you don't need to know anything.
I like that. Not knowing anything. New to comics. Jess, new to comics. Every comic is new to you because you have.
First of all, yes, J-Card, you can go to OmniDog's Vault where I have a brand new video, DC books for the Marvel fan, and so you can find a lot of recommendations there. I will choose Superman Up in the Sky as my pick.
Wow.
King.
Tom King. Very nice. Curtis, a man of culture, a man that has been reading epic collections for 11, 12, going on 12 years now. What would you recommend?
I grew up watching him.
Did you? Well played, Jess.
Well, you know, if we're sticking strictly with just like Marvel or DC or something, I'm probably going to say Ultimate Spider-Man for a newbie. I think that's a really great kind of entry-level comic there. I just read Young Avengers, and that one is really good. So there's two. Ha! I got two in.
Damn it, Lars.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Acceptable.
used to saying that all the time. Damn it, Curtis. No, one book.
I agree with who said it. Black Pearl Productions, Astonishing X-Men. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I love it.
Okay. Tina, one book.
Wrong answers only, or just me with my
No, you're
finite
on it. What would you recommend that is so good that you're like, everybody has to read this?
I enjoyed Mutant Massacre, so I would say Mutant Massacre.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Interesting choice.
Good for you.
I love Dark.
Dark. You picked Craven's Last Hunt.
Well, yeah, yes.
Oh.
but-
Someone said Sheets, and honestly, yes.
Oh
I think
man,
that's a perfect.
that last
Now, and
book-
that's not the sequel to Blankets, just to be clear.
Sheets is
no.
the first. Wait,
This first, then
Delicate.
It's
You always wanna
not
say
related to
delicate.
pillowcases at all.
Coincidentally, we're having this discussion when on Sunday I sometimes take myself to this local place called St. Kilda's for brunch, and I was at the bar and I'm reading Fantastic Four, and I've got my flash pin on. And this like waiter there comes over and he's so excited. He's like, "Oh my God, I can tell you're a comic book person. I'm just getting into comics. Please explain this to me. Da 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 da. Because I've seen the movies, but I want to get into the comics. And what do I do?" I'm like trying to. And so we're trying to. And he was so excited. He held me hostage for so long. His boss had to come over and yell at him to get back to work. That's how excited he was to.
the power of comic books.
Yeah, apparently so.
If you read Daredevil by Mark Waid, I think Fantastic Four by Mark Waid is an excellent read.
Yeah,
it's a great jumping on point to get to know the characters. If you like that Captain America by Mark Waid, unfortunately it's out of print right now. It's also an excellent jumping on point.
Welcome to comics. Congratulations.
Yeah, don't let anybody scare you. I saw that the DCU Superman comic, the $5 promotional comic package,
this one should be it.
With Milkbone sold out in 3 days. There are dozens being sold in bulk for close to $100 by scalpers on eBay and other markets.
Thank you for the super chat. And this
Scalpers
one
are
goes along
the
with
worst
it.
buying in bulk, and that is awesome. That
wait, do you want to clarify that statement?
no, my daughter just finished she texted me saying, "Hey, they just finished Power Watching." I was like,
okay.
That's awesome. Sorry, no, scalpers are the worst. I agree with that. Which is why when anybody ever asks me questions on the live stream, especially on Saturdays, like, "Hey Omar, is this book gonna be worth money? What's the most expensive?" Just this Saturday, somebody asked, "What's the most expensive like collected edition you own?" I don't like answering things like that because I want people to read these things. I don't want people to collect them. I mean, collecting them is fine. You know, they look beautiful on your shelf, but you know, use them for what they're meant for. Read them. I don't think
they're not like stocks and bonds.
Well, yeah, there's a lot. It's kind of died down a little bit, but there were a lot of people at the beginning like thinking, "Oh, I can buy these Omnis, sit on them for a year, and then go out of print." So yeah.
Oh wait, you're done? Okay.
I promise I'm done.
I tend to agree with you. Yes, I do agree with you. Although knowing the value of your stuff, there's no harm in that. I mean, I used to get into fierce arguments with the Inquest staff because they were like, just play cards. Who cares about the value? I'm like, if you have a card that's worth $100 or $200, don't just trade it away for another rare. I mean, it is okay to know the value of stuff. But generally speaking, I agree with you. It's all, stuff is here to be read. Even though a lot of people on the channel have a lot of books they've not read, but that's okay.
Let's see. So Josh is saying,
that's just looking the other way.
I
now.
sent my work to almost every company and countless YouTubers. Only one person not only got back to me, but held to my work. I love to joke, but I don't think I can ever repay what this community has given me over this time. My time here has felt like a lifetime, a blink of an eye all at once. Simply, this is poetic, Josh. Simply saying thank you all feels like falling short. And the best I can do. Excited to give two of you a hug next month and two of you a hearty handshake. I like how you made that distinction. May there always be room on your shelves, drink in your cup, and phrase laugh with long live near mint condition. Thank you, Josh.
I see that two of us are worth a hug and two of us are only worth a handshake.
Yeah, I like that.
What did you think? You're one of the hug people, Lars.
There's a tiered system, and below that, you just get a fist bump. That's all.
The only Superman story I am interested in is Death of Superman and Return of Superman. Can I understand it without reading anything else? You want to read Funeral for a Friend? It's the story in between those, and then Reign of Superman. Just know there's 4 people claiming to be Superman. What's up, Betty? Thank you so much, brother. But I definitely recommend Funeral for a Friend. It's got a lot of great moments, a lot of beautiful moments about grief. And
now Elton John's Funeral for a Friend is stuck in my head.
Me
Love
too.
lies bleeding in my hand.
We're gonna get demonetized.
Just Shakar, every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, we have a live stream, and Omar has what's it called? Reels Talks with amazing Amanda. Is she going to join us?
I haven't
Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Wendra Maddie, who's getting coffee, and she'll be back, has Overeater New Reader on Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Am I missing anything?
Nope, that's it.
Oh, and there's Wendra.
That's it. And then I do live streams with my friends here from time to time, going over the solicitations or doing evergreens once a month. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think any super successful YouTube channel will tell you not to do live streams because it bogs down how much they promote your channel.
Really?
But years ago I was like, screw it. I like people because I can't do this myself. Seriously. I mean, if you look at any big channel, they never do live streams.
Yeah.
It's always
Why do they deprioritize it? I wonder.
You know how much they deprioritize it? If you go on our YouTube channel, for example, and you look at the videos, they don't even put live videos there anymore in the front. You have to search for live videos or be subscribed to the channel because they can't get that many ads in there.
Well, I think a lot of the biggest ones, if you look at big channels, right? They do a lot of live streaming. If they're not doing it, they're doing it here, but then they clip it, right? And then they release the clips of those, usually on a side channel. But to me, I think it's the best way to build your community as far as people being a part of it and having connection with you. So it's the people in your community will go on to watch your other things and do the other things. I think you're doing the right thing.
Hey, Scotty, how are you, dude? This is my 5th year following Omar and Jess. So much love for you, all of you. Maddie, here's a rose. Hope I can spend more time watching all your great content. Thank you, Scotty G.
Hi, Scotty G.
Watching both of us.
The live streams are my favorite part of this channel. I watch almost all of them in full. Well, thank you so much, Tyler. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Omar, Pad wrote some Wolverine stories, didn't he? What are some of your favorites?
The Right Hand of God story. I love the Right Hand of God. It was in the.
Do I have to click on Dan or can you?
Yeah, no.
I didn't know if Dan could add
it. Is in the.
What was that?
Okay. So I muted Dan. He loves to make an entrance.
Dan has become a transformer in real life. It's finally happened.
Huh. Hey Dan, can you hear us? Okay. We can't hear you because there's a bunch of static. So I don't know which mic you're using. Melanie is typing you a message. You can text him. He said one. That's my dude, Dan.
Woo,
he's my lawyer. He can come in and an
Can I
entrance.
click on Dan? Yeah, why not? Dan testing a jet hand. Shit.
For real,
The
right?
universal translator isn't working.
It's your fault.
Bro came in.
Did you answer the question about Wolverine?
Yeah, it's the issues 11. It's in the first Omni. So it's right after Chris Claremont leaves the book.
Yeah.
I love those issues. He did a fill-in issue with Larry Stroman. I think it's issue 44. Curtis, correct me on that. It's the one with Mark Silvestri cover where Wolverine is fighting a creature underwater. It's like Wolverine goes on vacation and it goes to hell.
Wolverine goes on
The tiger shark?
No.
That's
That's the Archie Goodwin, John Byrne era. This is like issue 44, I think. And it's Larry Stroman doing the fill-in art, Peter David doing the fill-in issue, because it was Larry Hama writing them at the time. That issue is really good for like a standalone issue. And I think it's 44. And somebody take my Geek batch away.
I did one interview with Peter David, and it was all about those Wolverine issues right after the Claremont stuff.
Okay.
And you can find that on Epic Marvel Podcast.
Can't wait.
But it was good. He was a delight to talk to, and I wanted to get to him more, but then his health turned to, went downhill, and he was not doing much for the last few years.
No.
That sucks.
I forgot that he wrote Spike.
He did, yes.
The Buffy Spike?
Yeah. He was always a huge Buffy fan and a huge Angel fan. So I would follow him on his blog, and he would review the newest Buffy or Angel episodes. And then I became horrified to realize that's how long I've been reading his blog, because that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm good. It is Wolverine 44.
That's still my favorite part of my collection is all the Buffy stuff.
Yeah.
That one.
All of Dark Horse.
Yeah.
While you were explaining that, Kane shared a really sweet comment about meeting Amanda, you and me, and the great people in the community.
Oh yeah, and Kane is a sweetheart.
And we got a super chat down here. Oh, two. Let me do the first one. Thank you so much for the super chat. Can you read that, baby?
Yeah, rest in peace, Peter David. A big loss too soon. To me, one of the most underrated stories he ever wrote, and I absolutely love it. And it's only found in two places: the trade paperback, in collected editions, and First to Last Avengers premiere hardcover is the Last Avenger story.
Yeah,
that's a story no one talks about. It's early artwork by Ariel Olivetti.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. It's only 2 issues, but I love that story.
Damn.
It was kind of a Marvel.
Wait, turn the volume down. Sorry, I'm putting Dan on.
We're good.
Yay!
Dan's good.
Okay.
Hey, Dan.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Lars.
sorry about that. Not sure what was going on.
Not a lot, man. How are you? Everybody, this is Dan. Dan, this is Lars and Omnidog, which I don't think you've done videos with before.
Dan.
I have known since high school and was there from the beginning on Near Mint Condition, and now he is my legal advice and lawyer. And when you're making content on YouTube, you need that. Let me tell you. As Rumiko Takahashi tried to shut down my channel a few years back. Not her herself, but anyway, Dan was a big help, man, and he's the man. He wrote.
Sorry, I'm covering you, Dan.
Rewrote the that Marvel contract. That's pretty badass, man. To say no to Disney. I know you were like, man, what a good day. And I was like, Dan, please don't say go to Disney. Can we just go ahead and sign this?
Omar, say that off the camera next time.
Oh, shit, sorry. I've been drinking. So let's blame Rob.
Hello, everybody.
So this is the Dan without beer. He's part of the Near Mint Collective community.
Yeah,
as well.
Drywalling all day, and I'm just going to the shower. So it's been very exciting.
Thanks for joining us. And we have a couple of super chats, but I cut off Lars. Lars, what were you saying?
Damn, what was I saying? I've totally lost my train of thought now. I can't remember.
Okay.
Was anybody listening to
Lars? It's not a thought boomerang, and when it smacks me in the head, I'll remember them.
Okay.
Was anybody listening, Lars?
Jordan Rodney.
No, probably no one was listening to me at all, but it's still a great loss.
Congrats on 9 years. Best comic channel on YouTube. Been watching for at least 5 to 6 years, and you've expanded mine and Jamie's comic horizons a ton.
Oh, Jordan, hey, dude. He's a big horror guy. He's one. He likes. Where's Rob? He loves horror movies, and we bonded over that. Not a. I did not say horror. I said horror.
I thought you said horror.
I love horror and horror movies. So.
Stop it, you all.
Nice.
Thank you, Kyle Rayner Reviews. Muchas gracias, hermano. Happy 9th anniversary. I love NMC. I can't believe I had the chance to have the Uncanny Omar on my channel and speak about comics in Espanol. And with all those years watching him and his mates as a fan, keep rocking with the NMC, fam. Regards from Argentina. What'd you think of Eternaut, brother? Am I the only one that watched Etronaut here on the panel?
I haven't checked it out yet, but man, that's such a good comic.
Yeah, man, they know what's up now.
Shonda Sook was asking about how people met.
Oh, what a sweet question.
I can't find it, but
Do you want the real answer or the funny answer, Shonda Sook? What you want?
Lars and Curtis, how'd you get introduced?
Oh, yeah, this is good. I like that.
Omar was sitting outside a Comic-Con, and I dropped money into his hat, and that's how we were introduced.
His hat. Okay, good.
He had a hat on the sidewalk, and I dropped.
I thought you were going to say he was selling oranges outside of comic.
Oranges.
He was selling comics out the back of his trunk, and
yeah, Curtis, how did we meet, buddy?
Man, that's a great question. I don't even remember now. I mean, we've been doing our Epic Collection live streams for so long.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember the first time we met. We must have crossed paths in some Facebook group or something. I bet it was the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group. You were part of that at one point, right?
Yes, I was. I mean, I still go in there from time to time, and I think you were in there trying to talk people into like converting people over to the Epic collections. You were like, no, everybody should
Usually
leave.
what I'm doing.
Yes.
No, I was in there the other day telling people they should jump on a set of Milton Caniff's Tearing the Pirates that was going for incredibly cheap. Somebody was selling it for dirt cheap, and I was like, somebody jump on this because this is the best comic of all time.
It's really good. How much was it going for?
They were doing the first 6 volumes plus the bonus 13th volume for like $120 or something like that.
Wow.
It's like each one of those books is $100 book. So just the fact that they were offloading all of them for a fraction of the cost was really, really good.
Dan's more like my Matt Murdock, and I'm like his Electra. Nope.
You can't take it back. You all
what a healthy relationship that is.
Like Mary.
You're my brother Mike Murdoch that I made up.
Mike Murdoch.
Yeah.
Dan, can I put you on solo format?
Sure.
There you go.
Dan, what makes your Transformers collection so unique, though? Because they're not just Transformers. What are those?
I mean,
I'm
that
sensing
is
a theme.
like 99% of all the Rodimuses ever released. So,
Wow.
yeah, we're getting there slowly. Got to get more of these, 40-year-old erasers before I can call it complete. But
Do you ever worry that you're gonna have guests come over and like one of the kids is gonna take your Transformers eraser and actually use it?
that's not so much the worry as just
It crumbling.
well, we have kids that just come over and like they are because they're our neighbors and they've been very respectful of it. But every now and then it's like someday I'm gonna walk in here and somebody's going to have disappeared. But
Dan, do you have a shirt that says Hot Rod was right? I feel like
I could put that with my Cyclops was right.
Yeah, I was gonna say you already have a Cyclops
nice.
was right shirt, so you need a Hot Rod was right shirt too.
Curtis, what book were you talking about?
I was talking about Terry and the Pirates.
Oh yeah, okay. So maybe.
Yeah. Terry and the Pirates by Milton Caniff. It's a golden age newspaper comic strip that ran from 1934 to 1945, I think. And it is just a stellar comic strip from start to finish, and one that is a huge influence on every comic creator that has done stuff after that. Like whether they know it or not, their work has been influenced by Milton Caniff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even the guys back then, right? Like the guys drawing Golden Age comics were influenced by that guy.
Yep.
Why would you have kids come over?
Hey kids, want to see my Transformers?
Do you ever get any not we through there, and you have to make some excuses as to your great passion there?
You know what? I have never brought anyone in here who didn't at least make appreciative noises.
Okay.
You know, and who at least pretended like, oh, this is an impressive thing, not a I'm going to back away slowly kind of thing.
Right.
So no,
See,
it's never happened that way.
Didn't you used to have like Transformers in your office, Dan?
What's that?
Didn't you used to have Transformers in your office?
I still in my firm office. Yeah, I still do.
Anybody ever back out? Kind of like, I don't know if I want to work with this guy.
No, I've had a handful of people come in, sit down, start talking about something, you know, because they just haven't ever been in my office before, and then like do a double take. And is that Optimus Prime? Yes, it is. It's actually 6 Optimus Primes, but yes.
That would be the reason I hire a lawyer if they have Transformers in their office.
That's you.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, I have started I have in my office. I have Missing Link Optimus positioned in such a way that it's visible on all my calls and live streams, and I've just I've kind of put it there for somebody to just ask me about it, you know, subtly. We'll see. But
Jess and Maddie, do you want to show off the figures that you have? Like behind you, Maddie and Jess, you've got some great statues.
I can try. It's a little messy back here, but we have some artwork from someone in the chat right now from Matthew.
Was Matthew in the chat?
Whoa!
Yeah.
There. We got Donna
Oh,
figures
beautiful.
here too, and some.
Hey, those aren't Hot Rod.
Wow. We got a little mess. It's like One Piece figures and like.
Whoa!
That Wonder Woman.
Oh my! That's the one. That's the poster. That's the one you hang up.
You know, most of my figures and books are all downstairs.
Oh, you're upstairs. Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, I was trying to exit.
My face.
You're embarrassing, Maddie, Melanie.
Tina, you looked like you were on oh my gosh, what's that show?
Brady
Bunch. You were looking up. Why were you looking up?
Well, I was looking. Well, I was like, do I have any figures up here? And I do have some figures, but I've got like my manga box sets all the way up there. So I was like,
That's way too far to reach.
Jess, are you able to show off some of your stuff?
Sorry?
Are you able to show off some of your stuff?
I can show you the spider door that is in progress right now.
Oh, yes, please.
I have other stuff to show in here. Yeah, this isn't the statue room; it's more action figure room.
I just see Elliot's comment. Dan, the lawyer's out there buying Optimus Prime.
That's a T-shirt idea.
I saw him typing next to me, but I didn't see the comments up yet. I was like, "What is he doing?"
This is Hollywood Squares. It does feel like that, doesn't it?
Jess Tour, MTV Cribs Minty Edition.
Is he gaming right next to you?
Oh, wait, let me see. Can you put him on solo?
Jess? Yeah. Where is he? There he is. All right, Jess, what do you got? Oh,
okay.
Oh, that's adorable.
So in my scenario,
Gwen Stacy
has dropped Gwen, but there's all these spiders that are going to catch her.
That's awesome.
Except for these two guys who are just sitting there lollygagging eating pizza.
Jackasses.
Oh,
yeah.
that's adorable.
But all these other spiders are like, yeah, we're going to be saving Gwen in this world anyway.
I love that you didn't drop her head first, too. Very classy.
It looks like they've been immobilized by Paste Pot Pete.
And then I'm going to have a scenario on this door, too. But here's some of my Mezco figure.
Oh, yeah. These are the dolls.
Shut up.
Because they've got interchangeable wardrobes.
And here's my Justice League
Is that
Dark.
the difference between doll and action figure, Omar?
That's my difference. Yes, sir.
God, it's such a jerky comment. Here's my Justice
well, that
League
means
Dark.
Omar has a couple of dolls himself. So don't
Shut up,
worry.
Tina.
He does, yeah. He won't admit it, but he does.
I don't have any dolls.
And they're sticky.
Maddie, really? They're children watching sometimes.
No, they just
Yeah, they grow up watching Omar.
I'm missing that Hellfire Club goon, and Jess is using it as a prop to play the piano, and it pisses me off.
I know. I got to break out my Hellfire Club figures and put them in this diorama. But that's pretty much it for anything really interesting here.
Well, thank you for taking us on tour.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank
that
you
was
for
cool.
asking.
Lars, what do you got? You got something to share with the rest of the class?
Well, no, I am not really a statue or action figure person.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, I have the Transformers. I have the toys I grew up with, when I was a child.
Oh, wait. What do you have?
Transformers.
Do tell.
Transformers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, the usual, array.
What Transformers though?
I mean,
now you have his attention.
It was like, are there any that I don't have?
Yes.
I kind of I just lean toward being a non-materialist in the sense that I just am very careful not to have oodles noodles, because there are hoarders in my family, if I haven't explained this before, and I fear becoming like them. So just gobs and gobs of stuff about the place. I like it. I just like a little less of everything. So usually the people I live with, there used to be this show called Clean Sweep, and it would teach you how to just disgorge stuff. And so you just get buckets for library, recycling, Goodwill, trash, and we would play the Clean Sweep theme tune, and we would do a little dance, and then we would go around, just find stuff we don't need and just get rid of it. So
I love that.
Yeah, action figures and statues. I never really. Let's see. I don't have really anything.
Okay.
For the record, if you do want to draw the line between serious collections and hoarding, it's the lights. If you put it on a light itself,
it's all in how you organize it.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, you can just toss stuff in there, but as long as there's a nice light on it,
Yeah.
Oh man, Lance, I have a Rosa Versailles pachinko machine in my basement.
Oh, that's
she legit does.
I
Legit
do.
has the pachinko machine.
Maddie, I think that's Rosa for sale.
That's yeah. I have all of them. I had to go get them, but I've got them all.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't get the other two, but yeah.
I had this friend in LA who, I'm going to try to be delicate here. He was very successful with the ladies. And then one time because he was a friend of mine, I happened by his apartment, and he had, how all of you have shelves of books there? Imagine if every single shelf had rows and rows of action figures in front of it. Like his whole apartment was just this tidal wave of action figures, but it screamed nerd. And I was like, my God, man, how are you so successful with women when, this? He says, I never bring them here. Well, that makes some sense. Yeah.
See, it's the opposite that works for me.
That want to see my cave of action figures.
That's how Tina and I became friends.
Yeah.
She saw my immense action figure collection.
It was the rarest. Let's be real. It was, my wife was like, hey, there's one of our patrons at the library. You should see his basement. Let me show you pictures, even though I haven't gone. And I was like, that's a Hikaru figure. Who is this guy, and where can I go see this Wonder Palace?
And it was the same
neighborhood. Lars, it's the Wonder Palace, Lars.
Maddie, are you saying a big action figure collection for you is flirting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and if you have the right old video games, it's pretty easy. If you're like, oh, I played the same Japanese RPGs on PlayStation, I'm like, oh, do you?
When
I borrowed them and keep them? Thank you.
I was like, I just assumed he was way older because he owned a house, and I was like, I want to grow up to be just like you and have a figure collection like that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So my wife often teases me because I have a huge interest in Golden Age comic strips, right? Stuff from the 1930s, 1940s and such. And so she teases me because the people that come over to see my collection are old men. I have so many octogenarian friends.
So there's not a lot of jealousy in your marriage, is what I'm hearing.
Well, Curtis, if you're ever trying to pick up old dudes, you know how to lure them now.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
You've got
Just get a van fill them up with your old comic strips. That was my pickup line. Do you want?
That sounds like a really interesting, like serial killer story. You know, I think somebody should write that.
But on that on on the other end of that, it's all of these people. I've inherited a lot of really great old collections because these guys are they're at the point where it's like, I don't need this stuff anymore because I'm super old and my kids don't want it and don't want to deal with it. So here you go. You can have, stacks and stacks and boxes of Prince Valiant newspaper clippings that I've been clipping since the 1940s. It's like, that's awesome. I will take that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
What can you define super old for us, please?
They look kind of like you, Jess, but they're.
That is not what I was expecting from you, Curtis.
Curtis
no. They're definitely over 80.
Oh my God. Saying that right as I took a drink, I was like, please don't spit that out.
This is the problem with collecting things that were aimed at me when I was 5 years old. And I am at the top of the age group for the things I collect. I will be the one handing them down at some point. Two Perfect Strangers or Omar, depending on who goes first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a pact.
Well,
just like I have a pact with Jess.
Huh?
It's
I wasn't listening.
He said what?
Well, we've talked on the channel before about how it's called the Great Deaccession, if I'm pronouncing it right, which is that there's a certain generation that's getting up there and they're like, I should definitely downsize. I'm like, yeah, I know it sounds berserk, but I actually keep a file of what to do with all my stuff in case of my death. Because, when my father went, God bless him, I had to help dismantle his horse farm. My father had many virtues, but he didn't do shit all to prepare for his demise with the horse farm. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Even my modest comic collection. So there's a file. I'm like, okay, this stuff you can just recycle. This stuff you can get rid of. This stuff is worth selling on eBay. This stuff is, there you go.
Yeah, my wife has asked for that list as well. It's like, just let me know which ones are the expensive ones. So all the rest of them can go wherever.
The entirety of my plan
this morning
is call Omar.
Yeah. She doesn't know about the Omar box, but she'll find it.
So I taught my kids. I think I've trained them over the years, like that. The video games, right? Like on the top shelf of video games, you sell those individually. Like if I were to ask them and quiz them right now, they would tell you like which ones are worth money and which ones you can give away to friends, right? Because if something happens to me, I want my kids to go to college, and like a lot of those video games are worth a shit ton of money, and I want them to be happy, right? And then you can keep your 10 copies of Final Fantasy X or whatever. that is unless we go at the same time, then that would just be awful.
Omar, you're amazing, and like Norman, cheers. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Who also passed away?
Yes.
Just recently.
Yeah.
Norm did?
Yeah,
He did.
I didn't know that.
couple days ago, I think. This past
week, yeah.
Last week, yeah.
I know that. Wow.
Lionheart's up 20 fighting game characters from Storm Collectibles.
Oh, dude, you
Congratulations.
opened up that. Are you getting the alpha? Sagat just went up for pre-order.
Things are different now. At a party today, this actor classmate of mine, 10 years younger than me, talked at length over her love for Spider-Man. None of my high school friends would ever do this.
They are different now, man. Now it's okay. Like, I think when Dan and I were in high school, because we're at that Gen X generation, like we did not share we were embarrassed to share our love of comics and Transformers with normal people.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear my Spider-Man shirt to school. I was.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, yeah. This is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the 1992 to 96. Yeah, we were.
It would have been subversively nerdy. Not just nerdy, but like subversively nerdy to actively wear like a Green Lantern shirt or something to school.
Absolutely.
I'm only 4 years younger than some of you guys, and I still did it. That's probably why I was
You have no shame.
ostracized.
Nowadays, like I have to ask kids, like, do you really like Daredevil, or are you just wearing it? Like, not to like
My dad got
make
it.
them feel bad, right?
No.
Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to start up a conversation assuming
Keep
the
that
person likes
gate,
whatever
Melanie.
shirt they're wearing.
Keep that gate.
Yeah, I was always, I mean, like, I was never super open about stuff. Like, I had friends that knew, but it was more like issue as an adult, like, oh, I can't be a professional and be honest about these things that I do, or like coming online and talking about comic books or the stuff I have in my house, or like cosplay or things like that. And I'm just now getting to the like place where I'm like, oh, I can have Wonder Woman art in my office, and that's okay. Yeah. And the people I talk to, aren't going to think any less of me for that, and that's
right.
Different.
Times have changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, one time
the industry has changed as well. I think back in the 90s, it was definitely different, especially with the big two and comic book companies like Image that were doing things like Danger Girl and Gen 13 and Chaos Comics. Like with this over sexualization of women in comics, you didn't see a whole lot of girls gravitating to that kind of thing. The comic industry has changed in that regard, and the big two don't do that sort of exploitation the way that they did in the 90s. So I think that now
the swimsuit specials are coming back though.
Hey, I love.
Yeah, but I think there'll be a lot more different kind of representation in there as well. So it will be more evenly handed.
Did you not see the Tony Stark and the tiny tight speedos that he wore?
Oh my God, Jess, that's awesome.
Going to your comic shops in the 90s, in the mid 90s, like 93 and stuff, like I'd be the only girl in there. And I always felt a little bit weird because I don't know if they were like looking at you, but you always had that like, I don't know, it was a weird vibe as a woman. Like they were always accepting, but there was always a weird vibe.
Tina,
that's the way guys
better going into comic shops in the early 90s as a person was always like
there's a kernel of truth to that. Yes. Yeah,
it's a very similar feeling to going to like a I don't know, porn shop and walking out with a brown bag. You feel like you're being judged.
That is an interesting analogy.
He speaks from experience. Yeah,
it's like you're being shamed by across the street. How dare these people?
Interesting choice.
Now, to go back, I'm not a gatekeeper. I was saying I didn't want to put people in an uncomfortable situation.
I mean, it's the Daredevil. Have you read?
At the Ren Fair, there was this older gentleman cosplaying as Batman, and I tried to engage him in this conversation about Batman comics, and I'm like, oh, he's just pretended, like he feels awkward. He doesn't read.
Yeah, you gatekeep the shit out of that guy.
No, I want people.
Melanie, do you go up to kids with Daredevil shirts and like name 5 Daredevil creators?
No,
not even characters, creators.
Maybe he just is like, man, this girl's kind of weird.
It is cool because all people like when I was in Scotland for work a couple of months back, I was on the bus and I saw some guy with like, I think it was a Batman comic, and I was like, oh, are you reading this? This is like, yeah, and we just got to talk about it. And I was like, that's cool. Like that doesn't happen.
That's true. I should just do it when they're actually actively reading. I was just going to read this super chat. Philip, thank you. Happy anniversary. I joined way back when you started subbing on Omnibus, so not at the start, but way back. Congratulations. Thank you.
Philip is good people.
Speaking of Omnibus, I have to go eat dinner, and then at 8 o'clock I will be on Omnibus. So happy anniversary.
Love you, buddy.
So happy that you've been my friend. Both of you have been everybody on this panel are my friends. You guys are the greatest. I really appreciate having you in my life. And I need to go also get some bandages from the bullet that I took from Curtis. So I'll be leaking out on the way upstairs. Peace and love.
We'll see it here.
Love you, Jess. Love you.
Dan was like, I'm going to take this time to get the hell out of here, too.
Whoops. Bye, Dan.
Jess is like saying goodbye, and I'm going to say goodbye, too. There's something I did want to share really quick. I just want to make sure I can put I'm going to put the link in the description of the video. No, the link is in the description of the video. But there is going to be the Lost Art of Sean Phillips. It's a deluxe edition hardcover collecting a lot of his Lost Art. It's on Kickstarter, and it's going to be launching soon. And I'll be sharing some of the pictures here in a second. But if you're wanting to sign up, here is the link to the Kickstarter. And Sean Phillips, of course, working, oh my gosh, almost exclusively with Ed Brubaker these days. But yeah.
So good. What an incredible artist that guy is. Just his, he's not just his ability to draw people, but his storytelling. The color, I think he does his own colors too, right? His coloring is just next level as well. Like,
think it's his son that does the coloring as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they work together super well. Yeah, incredible artist.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, anytime him and Ed Brubaker are on anything, even X-Men, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And I say even X-Men because I'm not the biggest fan of Brubaker's X-Men, but at least the art was, solid. Let me just share some of the internal artwork here, and we can continue chatting away. I'm so glad you guys were able to join. Thank you. And Curtis, it's always a pleasure seeing you, my friend.
I love being here.
I'm really glad Phillips has found his niche. Oh, yeah. I mean, he is with Brubaker till the end, right? Like,
They're such a good team.
I don't know what he does by himself these days. Like, seriously. So I did leave a link to that Kickstarter if you want to go and sign up for that. Didn't work. Let me try that again. Hold on 1 second, dude. Give me 1 second. Because I see it's active.
Did any of you read Pulp by Brubaker and Phillips?
The cowboy story?
Yeah, that one was super good.
It is
and quite different from all of his others. So, but
thank you,
but still really
Matthias. This is the link, and it's also in the description of the video, by the way. I think, Maddie, how much Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker have we read together for Old Reader, New Reader?
Not a lot. I mean, we've read some Brubaker, but
we read Fade Out, right? We read Fade Out?
We could have.
Many years ago.
There's a lot I think we haven't read.
No, Pulp is excellent. It's a quick read, too. Omar, will Curtis's name graphic be the Canadian assassin next time he is on? After that shot he took on Jess.
Whoa.
Yeah, maybe, right? Second link. Oh, awesome. Yes. That will be kickstarting soon. So I just wanted to give people a heads up, and I'll share a couple of the internal pages here. So yeah, what's new with everybody? How are you guys doing? What's the last movie you all went to see? Everybody go see Thunderbolts?
Final Destination Bloodlines.
How dumb and fun was that movie?
It was actually, I mean, I think it was a great ode to the rest of the films. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I've seen good movies too, everybody. I mean, I saw Sinners. I saw the Thunderbolts. I had a great time at both. But I was really stoked for Final Destination Bloodlines.
My brother drags me to those movies every time, and they're all
it was so dumb.
So stupid.
Oh, Final Destination
Sinners was perfection, though.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
Funny.
Sinners has to be the movie of the year for me so far. I know
I
we're
agree.
only in May, but oh my god,
No.
I can't see how anything's gonna be that. And between like the music alone, I mean, it's just it was.
we got
so
Superman and
Superman
Fantastic.
looks good.
Oh, never mind. I changed everything.
You know, like we got some good movies coming up. I'm super
I
excited.
cried watching that Superman trailer. I was like overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I did too. The teaser trailer and the trailer. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I know Lars doesn't.
Fantastic.
I don't do trailers. Yeah,
He doesn't watch trailers.
They both look so good, and I'm really excited for the summer. Just so excited.
Oh yes, I need to watch the new Mission Impossible movie too because I love those movies. That's my Fast and the Furious franchise. Like people love Fast and the Furious.
They do.
I love Mission Impossible movies.
I just can't look at Tom Cruise.
Yeah, at this point in time, I'm like, I've had enough of Tom Cruise.
You're not the only, because I said, well, I need to go to this movie. I said to a friend, do you want to go with me? He's like, oh, I can't stand looking at Tom Cruise. I'm like, okay.
You don't find him attractive, Lars?
No, that's what my friend said. I don't even quite know what the problem was. It just, I don't know. They thought he had a very
I just think it's the Scientology bit, probably. But
Possible.
anyways,
why do you think he looks so young? He's able to like jump on planes.
He looks young.
So he's in his 60s. He looks great compared to like other 60-year-olds.
He gives me the ick. If I saw this man in real life, he would creep me out, and I can't see him on screen. I can't watch Jared Leto either. There's just some men I'm like, I can't watch the movie.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Because of Morbius?
No, because he's.
Well, Tom Cruise looks so young, one, because of the Scientology, and two, lots and lots of plastic surgery.
Oh, for sure.
You think
that
so?
face barely
He's got
moves.
wrinkles.
No,
No,
although he pretty obviously is Botoxing, if nothing else.
I gotta give him props. He might be fucking crazy, but he does his own stuff.
Well, yeah, no,
yeah, he's probably crazy
like
because he does
the
his own
fact
stuff.
that he does his own stunts blows me away, especially at that age. Like, why are you up there on there's stunt doubles that can go up there on that plane, right? Like, you don't need to hang off the side of the plane. This is stupid. Oh, but yeah, I do love those Mission Impossible movies, though. Curtis, what's the last movie you saw, buddy?
Ryan, I love.
In the theaters or not? In the theaters, the last movie I saw was Thunderbolts, and then I watched with my son the other day, Scream, the first Scream movie. My son is 13, and he's really starting to like horror movies. Like he wants to watch a lot of horror movies, and I'm like, I love horror movies too. So we're going to watch them together, and I don't really want to get him quite into like the super gory, over the top violent ones yet, or whatever. But Scream is okay.
The first Scream is an exception.
And so it's interesting because watching that now, like he also watches The Rookie with Nathan Fillion, and The Rookie is way more gory than Scream gets. Even though Scream back in the day when we were watching that, when I was watching that, like when I was his age or whatever, it was like that movie was way worse than anything that had come out. Like people were boycotting it and stuff like that. Like this is,
I guess it's not to my mind worse than Halloween, or things like that.
What about Evil Dead?
Oh, probably not. Yeah. Evil Dead, that's a good one. We might take that one. So the remake of Evil Dead, I had to turn that one off halfway through. I was like, this was so this is way worse than anything.
I love the remake of Evil. You're talking about the one with the apartment complex? That one,
I can't remember. I think I turned it off at the part where the girl started dismembering herself with a turkey carver, and like she slips her tongue on the turkey carver. Like,
see, that makes me laugh.
It's like a different, it's a different vibe.
Were you offended that she used a turkey carver? Did you think she should have used something more efficacious?
Old school with machetes. Come on, no, I don't know. Yeah. No,
Lars,
it was just that was just one in a long line of things. It's like I'm not finding this movie enjoyable, so I'm just going to stop.
I do recommend Hard Eyes for those of you who haven't seen it, because now it's on streaming.
Oh yeah,
it is the perfect combination, and I mean perfect, of rom-com and horror movie. I mean to a T. It's very funny, but it's also just a great ode to horror movies and a great ode to rom-coms. If you separate either of them, they would work perfectly as either genre. Fantastic time. I can't recommend it enough.
It's on our list too.
Why is that on our list?
What? Wait,
Have you never seen it?
Everyone in the world loves it.
I've never seen a Goofy movie. I don't know. I'm Gen X. I was too old for that when it came out.
No, it's the Goofy movie.
You can watch it now. You're not too old.
When did that movie come out?
That must have been. I was either in high school or in college when that movie came out.
I remember being at a party for its 21st birthday, so it's got to be like
21st birthday.
27.
Wait, was that the excuse to have a party?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Lars, how do you feel about the returns of the Rainy? I don't know what
the Ronnie.
Ronnie. Oh, okay.
the Ronnie. Sorry, it's a Doctor Who question.
Okay.
Lars changes his posture and everything.
Well, okay, excuse me, because this is a serious question here, and I want to give it a serious answer. Russell Davis, in his second tenure, he does have this tendency. Look, I'm a classic series fan, and so I know that I should be rejoicing when old monsters or old villains come back. But he's not setting them up. There's no foundation to it. And like last season, it ultimately was just, and here is Sutek, the god of death. And it's like, okay. And this time around, it's like, and here's the Ronnie. It's like, okay. And here's Omega. I was kind of holding my head in my hands when the Omega aspect came up. So I don't know. I think if you're going to bring back old villains or characters, what I would prefer that was set up. And he used to do this, like with the Master. So. Or the John Sim Master.
We did not finish watching the last series of Doctor Who. Not season, series of Doctor Who.
Yeah. It wasn't for me.
I don't know. I want to get back into Doctor Who. I love that. And I got excited when Russell T. Davis was coming back. Huge, everything he did.
And I love Shooty, but I think I'll have to.
Yeah,
I'll get back.
The Tennant specials were really good. But it has as good as Shooty is, it has struggled since then. There's some high points, but it's struggled.
Kyle, just to clarify, I love over the top violence because it to me, because it's so over the top,
it's
that makes it comical, humorous. If it's based on something real,
she hates Goodfellas.
I'm like, no, that's real stuff.
Absolutely hates.
Oh, I love Goodfellas. I love that one.
Yeah, she doesn't like real violence.
If it's supposed to really happen, no, I no. but if it's cutting your arm off with a turkey baster, whatever what it was, carver,
Turkey baster.
A turkey baster.
Very slow.
That's just that.
Look, you've just awakened something in Lars.
Oh man, last night I watched Snakes on a Plane for the first time in my life because I've missed out on that.
Oh, I've never watched that.
So
I was there
Lovely
opening night. I was there opening night in the theater for that one because of the hype around that movie.
yeah, you remember like you could get Samuel L. Jackson to call your friends to go and watch the movie. Like they had this whole internet thing going to marketing. It was brilliant.
It was one of the best marketing campaigns. It's like they got fans to literally write the movie for it. It's like, you tell us what you want to see in this movie and we will put it in the movie. And it's like brilliant.
It was pretty good.
It was so dumb.
Surprisingly, like I assumed the worst, and I had a great time.
Oh man, where's the gift? Come on now. There we go.
There you
Gold red pool. Here we go.
There you go, Tina.
Thank you, Crop.
Hey.
Lars, you covered your face, Lars. It's funny.
His face is right next to her boob.
It's funny how you change your posture for Doctor Who and Salma Hayek.
And trying to be respectful, okay? Women keep telling me,
what you're watching, which is even creepier. Never mind. Don't do
women keep telling me, look me in the eye, look me in the eye. I'm like this. Look, I'm being respectful.
I'm really trying, Salma Hayek. I'm really trying. I realize you have eyes.
Crop, thank you for the super chat. So
Yeah.
sorry.
I got to do a college paper comparing the original Evil Dead to the remake, and it was such a fun paper since the remake is so different. It is different, man. You're right.
If we're talking about violence and Scream, I noticed that one of the things I really enjoyed about Scream was that the villains were just douchebags with knives. And what that meant was that if you smacked them or hit them, they would just go flying, okay? And early on, in the early movies, like if someone got stabbed, it was treated like, okay, they've really been stabbed. Something that's kind of upset me about the last film in particular was that they have one guy and these two people, and they're taking knives and they're stabbing him on multiple sides with two knives, and they're like, it doesn't kill him. It's just like you see him being wheeled out. It's like, oh, he has a flesh wound. I'm like, what are you talking about? They stabbed him like 10 times. So it's a little disappointing that the violence is actually less realistic now.
So Lars likes practical effects.
Exactly right.
That movie with the ballerina.
John
Abigail.
Abigail.
Oh gosh, that was
I
great.
really enjoyed that, and it bothered me at the end. I was like, no, she can't have had all of that violence inflicted upon her and still be able to fight this way. Like for some reason, I think because I was really I was surprisingly invested, and I was like, no, I want this to be a little bit more realistic. She shouldn't be able to fight this way. I don't know, but yeah, Abigail, it bothered me how much she could do after enduring all of that.
M.T. Murray, thank you so much.
I get more upset when it comes, like, I'm looking for like reality in horror things when like people are all made up.
They were very blunt knives.
Like watching The Last of Us season 2, I'm like, where'd she get the mascara from? why is her hair perfect?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Because honestly, I get more in the rougher people look. I'm like, yeah, now I'm in it with you. I believe it. You're struggling, and I'm like, you don't. Where'd the mascara come from?
I don't even think about that. You're right.
That's the same thing with Walking Dead. You know, it's been like 10 years into the zombie apocalypse, and they all have beautiful hair.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
not Daryl. That
like
dude looks like he stunk.
But still.
Brent's saying I've had students cry because of the real violence from films in my class.
City of God is rough.
But,
well, okay. So,
that's a different kind of, that affects them on an emotional level.
What's the movie with the alien? Up, like the scene with the monkey. Like a girl started crying, and like the scene where things are being eaten. Another one had to leave the room. Like to me, that it was very intense.
Wait, do you mean Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the monkey dies?
Up is the Disney movie with the old.
I know,
man.
like the one with the balloons is Disney.
No. I love letting my wife cook. She just keeps digging that door.
So,
right.
okay.
On the cover of Nope, they're looking up. And I couldn't remember the name. No, when the monkey.
It makes sense, Melanie.
A student cried, and I was like, "Oh, honey, please, are you okay?" I was like, "It is very."
You watched Nope at school?
Yeah, well, that got permission.
She's a film studies teacher, so
yeah, it's all for film studies. Yeah, and yeah, it was Temple of.
I mean,
Actually,
I watched that
no.
Tim documentary.
There's
That is
a lot of go back to Chubby, Chubby Ray Comics. Legit, because of Temple of Doom, I hate big giant bugs. Like that whole scene with like sounds like fortune cookies and like him having to stick his hand in there and that giant centipede. No, dude, like I can't do it. If a bug is bigger than my goddamn hand, we got problems. Like if I need to punch a bug, which I have before in the past.
He has. He's punched
I punched a bee in the face.
and it got revenge.
Yeah, and it came and stung me.
But
But anyway, I was protecting my family.
No, you weren't.
But just to prove that you can never quite know what's going to freak people out. So the teenagers of my life and we've been watching a lot of movies of late. And for some of them, guns are fine. Violence is fine. Stabbing is fine. But one kid said the movie that, honest to heaven, freaked him out the most was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Really?
Because the kid, I was like, why? And the kid said, because the kid is a religious rule follower. Okay. And of course, like he says, I cannot imagine even breaking one of those rules. And now here's a whole film where Ferris does nothing but break the rules. And he's like, I cannot conceive of that. And so that's what honestly disturbed him the most. Yeah.
Huh. I guess then he would not like the humor like in The Office that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Probably not. Because,
yeah.
Another word for it. What is it?
I would much rather watch someone get stabbed than any sort of like secondhand embarrassment.
Not in real life, to clarify.
Not in real life, no.
Movies. Not talking about Faces of Death. She's talking about movies. Okay.
Predator freaks you out. Yeah, that's true.
Listen, in the monster romance community, they do not feel that way.
How does the monster romance community feel about the Predator's new do? Because a lot of people have problems with his new haircut.
I think they're still into it.
They're still into it? Okay.
Didn't you just go to a con, Maddie?
What?
Don't call your friend out. What are you doing, Tina?
That's what I do in my life.
I went to Monster Erotica Con. Okay?
Monster Erotica? I can't believe that's a thing.
It was lovely.
Lars not there?
Con?
How was Lars not there?
It was wonderful.
Of all my friends besides Maddie,
I can be aware that it exists without needing to go to these events.
Everyone was so nice and cute and dressed up. And
look, there's a con for everything.
And everyone smelled lovely.
Everyone smelled
important. Listen,
that is
you
very
all
important
know,
at a convention.
a lot of conventions they don't. But a convention run by women, lovely. There were snacks. There were water stations.
Snacks and water?
Fernando, yeah, it's only modern movies. Omar and his friend Matt, they're like, you're not showing the classics.
We gatekeep Melanie with it. Like we gatekeep the shit out of Melanie when it comes to movies. How could you not show classics?
And it genuinely keeps their attention
No,
off
you're
their
right.
phones.
You're right.
And
You're right. It is hard to keep the attention of like.
But
kids
there's such
these days.
good stuff nowadays.
It's what happens when you're a TikTok generation.
I was listening to like. Now I appreciate classics. I was listening to a podcast about 2001: Space Odyssey, and I was like, "Oh, that would be cool to like." What if I just showed that one scene, the end scene, where there's like no film techniques? It's just crazy colors, and it's supposed to be the 4D world or whatever when he's touching the monolith, and how like, hey, there's no like real film techniques here because you're supposed to be interpreting on your own and not be manipulated. The end. Okay. Sorry. I really enjoyed teaching film studies. It's a lot of fun. Barnes & Noble has a monster.
I have no idea if there's a transition here or not, but there was an occasion where I went to a convention in New Jersey, and since I don't go very often, this friend of mine who lives there was going to pick me up, and we were going to go to lunch. And my friend, I love him dearly, I do, but he basically is a prude. I mean, he just is. And it was just fine. But he picks me up at the convention, and in the parking lot, as far as I could tell, it appeared to be these dominatrixes practicing with their whips. And my friend was like, my prudish friend was like, what's going on over there? And I said, they're Indiana Jones impersonators.
You lied to your friend. You lied to your friend.
Yeah, well, no, then I had to lie to him again because he wanted to stop into the con, or he wants to stop in the hotel to use the bathroom before we went to lunch. And I just thought, he is knocked me down. It's like, I don't think they'll let you in the lobby unless you have a badge. What a shame.
Roy,
so
I
we're going to go somewhere else. You get your bathroom.
Every time Lars opened his mouth, I wonder where this is going, because I never know.
Indiana Jones enthusiast.
That's what I can come up with.
Oh man.
Yeah, the places these videos go to, right? I never know. Furry. Tina.
What?
He said furry stuff.
Yeah, I've gone to furry cons. What if?
What's the difference between a furry con and like a comic convention, Lars?
What? Wait, what the hell are you asking me and not her?
Wrong answers only. Go ahead.
He changed his posture as soon as I said furry convention.
It may shock you to learn I have never been to a furry convention. Okay,
it does shock me.
Please ask someone who's actually attended.
What was it like, Tina?
It was actually pretty normal. I will say
Did they have
the convention
snacks?
I went to did pass out bars of soap because some people, it's like if you ever walk by like the gaming like hall, sometimes people don't wash themselves, unfortunately, at cons. So they were trying to make a like purposeful statement to like make sure that your suits smell nice and stay clean. But most, like 90% of furries are really sweet, great people, amazing people. And then there's about 10% of the population that really need a bath.
Yeah.
Like most conventions.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, that is a very specific like statistic average. The most important question is, Tina, what animal were you?
I didn't actually go in a suit or anything, but I did go in a kig, and I have a kig if you want me to show you.
Yeah, show us your weird ass kig.
If I can reach it.
While you're getting that, Tyler, I did show Whiplash. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. And I showed Spirited Away.
Oh, lovely.
So here's my kig.
Can I put you on solo layout?
Put
You
that
can.
creepy ass
I've got
mask on
she's
solo
a
layout.
mess. So this is Umi. This head is huge for me, but essentially just put her on.
Oh, please wear that for a few minutes.
Please don't wear that. Please don't wear that.
No, what? Oh.
That is so creepy.
What's your favorite manga?
Favorite manga is Please Save My Earth.
What volume are you missing?
13.
You guys had a similar conversation about furries on your very first. Yeah, Tina taught us so much on that first video. I'm judging Tina. Dude, would you freak out, Tina, if Lars pulls down a Hikaru Kigurumi mask and he's like, surprise,
Oh, I got you.
bitches. I've been Hikaru all along.
It's nice to know the high regard in which you hold me here.
It's a fine line between Tina and Maddie, somewhere between both of them.
You know what? My whole life is a fine line.
Oh my God.
It's a Tina talk.
Tina does have Tina talks.
I do.
All things James.
Thank you, James, for posting that.
Yeah, he's on top of things.
Yeah,
James,
our-
and he's watching like 5 other live streams right now. That's the crazy part. Like he is,
James, are you?
Yeah,
You're watching. Wait, is it? It's not 8 o'clock yet.
he is watching 8 other live streamers right now and keeping up with like everything that is
He's
going
our
on.
oracle.
I step out and you guys are talking about furry cons and nominations. No, just Lars and Tina.
How dare you?
What? I have never crossed that line.
Let's see. My ex is a furry, and one of the other friends who is religious and can be somewhat judgmental now doesn't really want him around because it's immoral or some stupid. I can't because Omar says it'll get us the.
No, I've already dropped.
Any suggestions? Oh yeah.
He already said the F word.
What do you say, Tina?
So furries are usually pretty normal. Like anything and all things, there's always like an odd element sometimes to it. But if they're just a furry, like most of the people are pretty normal. They just like to be in costume and suits and like just be with like-minded people. It's not really about like acting like an animal or being an animal, which is like the stereotypical thing that most people on the outside think it is. It's not that way. It's about like just if somebody likes mascots or Mickey Mouse, it's kind of something like that. Like you have your personas or fursonas. It's pretty normal to me. I get where it might be weird from the outside perspective, but they're actually really nice people.
All right, Tina,
It's
follow
no
up.
different than us being in cosplay.
Right.
Follow up question, Tina.
Yes.
what furries would each of the panelists be?
Oh, okay.
Lars is done.
Good question.
Follow-up
Good question,
Yeah,
Omar.
start with Curtis. You don't know him really well, like at all. What do you think Curtis should be? First impression, what furry would Curtis be? Curtis, say something.
Okay,
God,
if you're Canadian, I'm gonna have to go with like a beaver. So that's what I think. Like probably a beaver.
A beaver. Curtis is a beaver. He's Canadian. Is that a Canadian thing?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Okay. Huh.
I
Interesting.
think there was a store up there when I went to Toronto that was like the mascot was a beaver, and that's why I'm thinking that.
Are you talking?
A lot of stores up here have beaver mascots.
Yeah, we have
Buc-ee's?
Buc-ee's, so yeah.
I love Buc-ee's.
All right. What about Maddie? What's Maddie? What kind of furry would Maddie be?
Maddie.
Don't act like you haven't thought about this, Tina.
A panda. Soft and
Oh, wait,
cuddly.
she doesn't like that answer.
I don't know if you like that answer.
What?
I don't think she liked that answer.
Yeah.
She didn't
I'll
like it.
take it.
That's okay.
I was like,
All right. What
I think
about?
it's cuddly? A panda's
Oh,
cuddly.
cute and cuddly. Okay. What about Melanie?
Oh, look, Kane said a rabbit. What about a rabbit or cat? The rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina,
What?
what would you give Melanie? What power?
Melanie.
Power Ranger.
That's fair.
Yeah, what would you give Melanie?
I'd probably do like some type of bird, like an owl or, you know.
Like D. I
Freaking hate owls.
I told you were D.
I just dropped that phone. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Dude, let me tell you, she hates the character of D in Always Sunny. So when you compared her to a bird, that made my day.
That's Maddie. I'm sorry, Tina. You're pissed off me and Maddie.
Yeah, you're on the shit list now. What about Lars?
What's she saying?
I will say this is not the conversation I was expecting when you texted, like,
No, this is not.
Who's free for the
This is
90-year
not.
celebration
Why do I have to?
show?
He didn't even drink it.
Yeah, Lars. Let's think about this. What would Lars? Is a goddamn.
you are
owl.
very
You know
good
how
at
many
being
licks
on
it takes to
that.
get
Right,
to
yeah.
the That's fucking Lars.
I don't know, a meerkat?
Oh, that's what somebody said.
Yeah.
I like that.
He does
Okay.
get caught off guard quite often.
I will keep that in
Like
mind.
Timon, like in Pumbaa, like
See? Lars
Okay.
is a meerkat. That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
Here.
Lars is a yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I'll take that on board. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maddie doesn't
My
know.
childhood is real. I've always thought of myself as a frog or a duck. Wouldn't that be a feathery, not a? Oh, Tina, did you just get gatekeeped?
Wouldn't
a
that be
feathery, not a furry?
Oh,
avian? I don't know,
We
but
got
my
more,
wife said
Raphael, we got more
it's
animals than a llama down there. We've got alpacas too.
a guinea pig, Omar.
We eat those. Those cuis, man. Is it's your last time on NFC?
Meerkat. I always say.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you for playing, Tina.
Yeah, good, Tina.
Yes.
Hard to put on the
Yes.
spot.
It is difficult to be put on the spot.
Thank you for giving us your expert opinion on these.
Yeah, no, that was great. Good
No
answer.
expert opinion. Just making shit up.
Well, sometimes.
I did say I would share some of these internal pictures of this art of Sean Phillips, and this is some of his early artwork that will be
Oh,
available
nice.
through a Kickstarter.
Oh, wow.
Again,
That's
Kickstarter
so
will be-
different.
Yeah, absolutely right. The Kickstarter will be available soon. It's in the description of the video if you want to go there and sign up. But it is going to be a hardcover,
Love that art.
showcasing a lot of this old. It's so crazy how much he's evolved too. Like, especially with things like this. It's just freaking awesome, man. Omar's the ostrich.
Sloth.
Maddie loves sloths. Like that was one of her
Maddie
favorite.
does
Yeah.
like sauce.
I've calmed
What?
down, but I had a sloth stage for a bit.
Did
Not
you?
dressing up. I was really into sloths. I have a lot of sloth things.
Okay.
I love that you have to clarify that with this group, right? Like I did not dress up.
Well,
as a
that's just
sloth.
conversation. Yeah.
I'm not one of those freaks. Just so we're
No,
clear.
I'm not calling them freaks. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I can't say
yeah,
anything after being Monster Con. It's fine. I really
So,
can't say
in
anything
Peru,
anymore.
it is a delicacy. Deep fried guinea pig. Absolutely. It's called cuy. Like they deep fry. Let me tell you, my brothers are my brothers who went back to Peru, or Tommy had never been, but my other brother who had didn't really remember his childhood, went back to Peru in 1998, and he was so traumatized by the sounds of deep fried guinea pigs.
Yeah,
It never leaves your head. Like, I mean, we're talking about, it's not a first world country, folks. You got to eat what you can, and that was one of
they're
the
alive. Like
the delicacies, right? You all eat lobsters alive when you put the.
I don't like
lobsters
that
in.
either.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Don't act like you're high and mighty too.
I'm
when you're
not, I'm
not
just
you, but when
saying.
people are eating their lobsters.
Oh, okay.
Just
Well,
Crabs are pretty tasty.
So I will make one small confession. So as we've established, I have not been to a furry convention, but I did one time go to a geeky convention. Well, it was both standard geeky convention, but also had a certain adult bent to it. And
After dark panels.
Yeah, well, it, I can't give it to you. It was adult themed, and so, but anyway, but unfortunately, it just kind of wasn't doing it for me, and so I talked to the people I was traveling with, and I said, I don't know, I'm just kind of not into this show, and they were like, well, we sort of are into this show, and we're gonna go to this thing. I'm like, okay, fine. So it was agreed that they would stay at the show, and then I would leave and take the train into Manhattan to go to the Spider-Man musical.
Oh God. Great decision.
So I left the adult convention to go to the Spider-Man musical instead, which was a good decision. So.
Yeah, I love geeky burlesque, but I also very much love geeky musicals. So you make
exactly.
Was that the Spider-Man musical where somebody they had that horrendous accident where someone died?
They didn't die, but okay. So I saw version 2. So the first Spider-Man musical was quite a fiasco. As you say, there was a lot of injuries, but also it was just a terrible show. And they literally had a geek chorus. Okay, it was like Greek tragedy style, and it was just not working. So I saw version 2. Because they got in there, they revamped it, they got rid of the geek chorus, they did all this stuff. And version 2, superb. Superb. Yay. My God. I mean, I when they had Uncle Ben's funeral, I cried. They actually did a funeral on stage. They had the casket. Everyone's in black, and they bring someone out, and she does the signature tune, which is I think it was by Bono and the Edge, actually. And
it's part of YouTube.
I was like, why? I was like, why is my face all wet? And then I was, oh my God, this is
you ever cried.
It was absolutely stunning.
I didn't go to a furry convention.
I know, it was absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, it was such an elaborate show because they had this climax in an aerial battle over our heads. There's the Green Goblin on a glider and Spider-Man swinging through the air, and they have an aerial battle over our heads.
That's cool.
Wow. Which meant that every show cost about $100,000 to run it. So it was like staggeringly expensive.
Man, that's
so
so
if
cool.
they filled every seat every night, they would have actually turned a pretty decent profit. But they weren't filling every seat every night, so it was just too expensive and it collapsed. But yeah, it's gone down as a legend as like a terrible show. Version 2 was outstanding. It really was.
How long did it run? It's not. I'm assuming it's not running anymore.
Oh no!
It's too expensive.
It went out a long time ago. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading all about all the back injuries and stuff from the first version. Like it was just horrible, is what it sounded like.
Yeah. Well, even I think Spider-Man gets knocked even the show that I was at, Spider-Man gets knocked unconscious at one point, and he's kind of lowered on wires down to the some sort of table or something, and he did hit it with quite the thud and have to pretend to still be unconscious.
Oh no.
Yeah. So but the music was exceptional. The show was exceptional. It's just fantastic. Yeah. I mean, someone go listen to the soundtrack sometime. I mean, it was by Bono and the Edge, for God's sakes.
Well, check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if that's on Spotify.
Yeah, turn off the dark. Turn off the dark. That's what it was called.
The dark.
James already found you.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good.
It has a bill signed. The playbill signed. Why don't you say bill?
There you go.
Show with my husband still have the playbill signed. Very good.
Yeah.
So they don't do it
anymore?
on
Spotify. I'll check it out.
It went off years and years and years ago. But yeah, I basically left the Geeky Kink convention to go do that instead. So.
Wow, Lars.
What?
It ran for 2 to 3 years.
Oh, that's nothing. I'm sure the Furry Con had its own aerial climax. That show.
They have a
Tina?
rave. I will say furry raves are pretty baller.
Our pretty baller. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so little emotion.
It's true. I thought I had sprung a leak there. Yeah.
Comic book
Hey,
report.
Dom, how you doing, buddy? That's Dom from the Comic Book Report. He's been on the channel once. We did an Evergreen stream with Dom. I think it was Daredevil, maybe. He joined us for our Daredevil Evergreen stream, which was a lot of fun. I should have invited Torun Grombeck to the stream, but right now it's like 4 o'clock in the morning for her. And Tobey Maguire held out for a big payday for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Joe,
Oh.
comic book writer, also been on the channel a few times. Joe Corallo. If you ever want any comic book gossip, Joe's the guy to find at the convention. Every time. Oh, I wish Joe. Every time he shows up, he's like, he gets so dramatic, and he's like, "Let me tell you what's going on."
That's a good impersonation. Yeah.
I'm sure he appreciates that. Julie Taymor directed that, and she thought she was the reason people showed up. Lars, thoughts?
Well, yeah, no, she did direct it. It's true, but she was also responsible for the first version, which was a catastrophe. Well, no, and in fact, I can't recall if she was fired and then they did the revamp. I don't know if she was involved in the revamp too. I saw version 2. Version 2 was spectacular. I think she may have been out by that point.
Ken is saying, "Oh, I love your channel content. Here's to 9 more years and super happy 9th anniversary."
Thank you, buddy. And Smokey, thank you so much. Congratulations on 9 years. It's crazy how fast time flies, right, Tina?
It is.
Just like that.
Does Wolverine count as a furry?
Yeah. I was going to say Omar wishes he was a Wolverine, but he's definitely not a
What do you mean
Wolverine.
wish?
Depends if he's in his hirsute phase or not.
I'm a badger.
Some people draw a lot more hair.
Just like a poor man's Wolverine. I'll take it.
But you like Honey Badger.
I do. She's one of the greatest characters Marvel has created.
So
And for some
great.
reason, what is her code name now? Scout? No, it's awful. They rewrote it after the producers told Tamer to get her act together.
Hey, new Spooey channel. Just arrived to spend the day at my relatives. Everyone's having a good. Oh, I keep forgetting it's Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And celebrating the 9th anniversary of Near Mint Condition. Only 1 more year to truly discover the pickle, right?
Tina, you better bring that pickle with you next year, Tina.
I still have that Kig.
Yeah, it depends if Sam
Keith is drawing him. Who's furrier, Logan or Puck?
Logan. He's taller.
Oh, okay.
Like
Depends on
Right.
if Sam
Yeah.
Keith is drawing him.
Yeah.
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 Taymor was indeed fired from Spider-Man, so place for version 2.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that, Lars.
I'm here to help.
So,
okay, guys, I gotta head out.
Okay.
Curtis,
It was nice chatting with you.
Bye.
Thank you, buddy, for
Thanks
showing
for
up.
thanks for the invite, and here's to another 9 years on
No,
your
thank you,
YouTube channel.
Curtis. And I will see you soon, my friend, whenever
Yep,
we do the
you bet.
solicit video. And probably epic announcement sometime soon. I hope. So,
And here's
Yep,
Chris's.
thanks.
be good, buddy.
Bye.
Oh, all the links. All the links.
All the links. James has you covered. So Lars and I are going to Heroes Con. Melanie, are you going? You gonna be there? Just kidding. You're gonna be there. I know.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I love Heroes Con.
Yeah, I got a message from I was posting in the Discord, and Josh is like, "Are you gonna be at Heroes Con though?" And I was like, "I have been leaving my house so often." No.
Yeah, we're not traveling someplace, so we can't go to Heroes Con. Any comic suggestions, like the form the art of Marco Cacchetto? Have you read Daredevil? Then, if you like Daredevil, Mark Waid's Daredevil, then Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, drawn by Cacchetto.
Greg Rucka.
It's gorgeous.
Punisher with Marco Cacchetto was the first time I ever saw his artwork. It's wonderful. It's a great story.
And it's great. It's a great Daredevil story.
He's an awesome
Zdarsky's.
artist. What is he on these days? Is he see anything at Marvel these days? After the Daredevil ended, and
I feel like, yeah, but I can't recall.
why is he not on an X? Oh no, Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, right?
Oh, that's why. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so
See?
dumb. How could I not recall that? I was like, it's something big. What is it? Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. That little title. Ultimate Spider-Man, you know.
Andrew, we've been waiting for you the entire time. We told people you're going to be here, and now you're the worst employee ever. You don't even work for Near Mint Condition anymore. 807. That's okay. But I wanted to wish NMC a very happy birthday. Well, thank you, man. Happy birthday to you too.
Thank you, Andrew.
It's good to see you, buddy.
This is from my father. I don't know where he got these, but look at how cool these are. They're like 20s movies, right? People's okay.
Oh,
Right.
that's cool.
Teaching
Very nice.
movie classes now. Look
yeah,
at that.
that. And we just found them after my father passed away, so I took all 4 because they were cool.
The
I
bourbon
don't
drinking
know. I don't know where he
glasses.
got them.
Andrew has got a lot. Josh got to hear the whole play-by-play on Thursday.
Oh, did he
Poor
say
Andrew.
yeah, poor Andrew.
Oh, Phillips leaving. Andrew's showing up.
What the hell, Philip? Are you serious?
Oh no.
I also need to head out.
Okay.
Maddie, it was so wonderful for you to show up.
Bye.
Bye, Maddie.
I will
See you,
talk
Maddie.
to you later and decide what books to read for old reader, new reader.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Saludos desde Puerto Rico. What's up, Puerto Rico?
I'm so sorry. Obviously, I know you're not going to share spoilers, but that ruined your week last week. Oh no,
Wow.
what happened?
Oh,
I
no.
stopped buying the single issues. Because of it. Did you? Oh no, I didn't. Oh no, wait, I did. I didn't like it. I didn't finish it. I didn't
Oh
finish
my
the first
gosh,
trade.
it's
I'm
so
so
good,
sorry.
Melanie.
I'm
It's so
sorry.
good.
I didn't get into it. I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh, she only likes 5 movies.
No, I like a ton of movies now.
10 movies.
I found out that we're $20 million. No, I doubt it.
We gotta sell those things.
It's fine. I keep hearing about a big dinner where Omar's picking up the check. What?
What alternate Earth did you hear this about?
Oh, it was Dark Crisis Young Justice. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Man, I'm so excited that we're going to get a local comic book store.
When is it opening up?
This summer is what Omar said.
Yeah, he asked me to go and help him tomorrow, and he's like, "Do you have any friends?" And I was
I'm
like,
like, I thought it was
"All
going to be
my
next year."
friends are old and also at work. I don't know if any of them can take off to go and do this." So I told him I might be. 40% off your streamers. Leave within 4 minutes of my
Oh, L's booster, not old.
Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate that, man.
Oh, and thank you, Scotty. Saw Thunderbolts Avengers Mansion covered by the Dark Force. Remember when Ghost killed Spy-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, in that Thunderbolts run, absolutely, yeah. Saturday night, I think Jess and I are gonna do something, or he said we're gonna do something.
Lobsters and tacos.
I know I gotta get together with my buddy Jermaine. He wants to get dinner. Yeah, I'll have to check my schedule. I thought we were gonna do a meet and greet too, but I don't know. And
Not to put too much pressure on you, but I was promised that if I attended Heroes Con, you would get me the good drugs, and the good drugs being comics.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Red wine, and probably just us sitting around insulting each other, which sounds heavenly.
Yes, except in the same room instead of different rooms. Yes, that's correct.
Right. Yes, but at least, well, no, that's the thing, because especially if you go to a British con or American, you usually wind up in the bar, and you spend a lot of time in the bar, and it's like, well, why would you do this when you could just stay at home and go to a bar? It's like, yeah, but it's a different bar. It's a different bar.
Guinea pig is off the menu. I'm not bringing any. Saturday night is the drunk art auction. Oh yeah, we did that last year. We did the Friday.
Not last year. The last time we went to Heroes
Or
Con.
the last time we went to Heroes Con. It was a lot of fun.
Which was
Scotty Young was there, and a couple of. That's when we got to meet Robbie, and you told him to shut up. From Pop Culture Philosophers.
What?
Yeah.
Melanie.
I am certain he deserved
it was a very important moment. They were going over the people that had passed away, George Perez, like people that couldn't be there.
Oh, okay.
And Robbie from Pop Culture, I always tell him
it's a crowd. You need help. Right? Like,
so her teacher mode came out, and she was like,
they were talking. They didn't know they were supposed to stop talking because it was a moment of silence. That's it.
He always reminds me of that when he shows up on the stream, or because he's been in a few episodes on Near Mint Condition. He's like, I always remember your wife telling me to shh. That was the first time we met. And I was like, yep, you're right. That's it.
I love when Melanie has these breakout moments, like when she told me to go jump off a cliff in Japan.
Oh my gosh! You're like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Yes,
machine.
I am talking to the director of the collected editions tomorrow, and one of his editors. I think Alex will be joining the call. So yeah, looking forward to that. I met with him last Tuesday, and now meeting tomorrow to talk about things DC. So hopefully everything goes well. That Saturday night art auction is always a mess. Yeah, people spend a lot of money.
That's so nice. Oh, just 2 minutes away.
Yeah, it'll be across town, but it's still
But yeah,
better
I guess
than...
it's 2 minutes away from my house. Yeah. I think it'll be 10 minutes away. That's cool. Any DC recommendations?
Nightwing. Get the compendium. It's excellent. Love it. Batman by Scott Snyder, the New 52 era is good.
What Maddie said, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That one's really good.
There's a lot of good
recommendations.
You like Spider-Man? What's the equivalent of Spider-Man in Nightwing? Nightwing is the
Firestorm.
At DC is I think of like who's got the nicest butt. Nightwing.
Wait. That was your criteria?
Obviously, if the guy is swinging from building to building, you gotta have a nice
equivalent. High schooler leading a double life, family problems, money problems, girlfriend problems. No, you were going for who has the best ass there.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. The guy works out. Yes. Superman by John. Oh yeah. Superman by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. So good, man.
Adam, this is a private conversation. It's not a live stream.
Oh, yes. Not a live stream. I'm so sorry. It's a phone call between me and the collected editions department at DC. And hopefully get to work together. Gotta head out early. Congrats on 9 years. Smoke a doobie.
Thank you, Crawford.
That is from Red Dwarf.
Suggestion.
Yeah. You know, when I still do it to this day. When I go camping with my friends, I always tell Melanie, smoke me a Kemper. I'll be back for breakfast.
I have to quiet that impulse because no one will understand what I'm saying. So
about what, Lars?
Smoke a Kemper.
Don't just say it. I say what, Nanette? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's fine.
You mean like your normal friends?
Yeah. That's mine.
I don't hang out with a lot of people who understand Red Dwarf. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Tina?
Huh?
That was a good Red Dwarf
reference. That's mine. That's mine.
We celebrate our 9th anniversary. 9th
birthday 2 days ago. Well.
Oh, this is the Omnibus Cafe. These guys have a Facebook group.
The anniversary
group of folks over there. Sal and all those dudes. Yeah.
Okay, please tell DC that even though we as a community tend to complain a lot, we all appreciate the work they have been doing getting new Omnis, DC Finest, and DC Compact editions out over the last year.
You got it, man. And Silver Fox, thank you so much.
Oh, wait, he doesn't know what it means. It's a sausage.
Was it a sausage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
I'll be back for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's what it means. Oh, man. Thank you, Silver Fox 19.
I've also read the compact comics of the Batman Court of Owls saga. And, oh, yeah, then keep going with Scott Snyder's run. And if you like All-Star Superman, there is another one that's similar to that, and that's Up and Away. Up in the Sky by Tom King. It's got it's got a very similar tone. It's on your list.
Well, I'm double checking.
What is up with all these writer-creators passing? Sucks. Yeah. Yes, it definitely does.
We're just getting to that age.
I played the Peter David clip at the very beginning.
I was watching.
Oh, you were watching?
I was putting on my makeups.
Still hoping for a JLA Rock of Ages compact comic.
It's not on my list.
Add it. The Year of the Villain Black Spine era is out of print, and they're so hard to find in paperback and hardcovers. We were supposed to get a Year of the Villain Omni, and then it got pulled from the catalog. So things have come a long way for DC.
Yes.
And what a great advice, Adam. People need to stop aging.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Lars, are you only going to do Heroes Con? Is that I know you normally try to do C2E2 and then Heroes Con. Do you go to your Iowa conventions too?
Well, yeah, I don't have a big budget for conventions. I do C2E2 and Heroes Con for comics, and then I do some Doctor Who shows, Chicago TARDIS, And so on. And then also, let's not forget, end of June, is Trekfest in Riverside, Iowa.
What's that? What? I'm sorry. What kind of convention is that?
Riverside is the town where Captain Kirk will be born. And every year they have a Star Trek celebration.
Will be born. Lars just went uber nerd on
us. Well, no.
What's his full name? What's his full name, Lars?
James Tiberius Kirk.
Yes, you said it just the way I wanted you.
Well, yeah. And so, if you've ever been to a small town parade, I mean, normally you have like the bored-looking high school band, and they come through. And then like Shriners on lawnmowers, okay, and they come through and so on. So imagine that, but it's interspersed with Star Trek stuff. And so you have the bored-looking high school band, but then you have Starfleet women on rollerblades. Yes. And then you have the Shriners, and then you have like a giant car decorated like a Horta, okay. And then you have Klingons on motorcycles. So it's a bit nuts, and it's delightful. And especially Riverside. Again, has declared itself the future town where they'll be born. And actually, if you go into the bar, you need a flashlight, but there's a pool table. And if you take a flashlight or a phone and you look under the pool table, there's a plaque commemorating the day and the location where Captain Kirk will be conceived.
Oh, conceived!
Oh, they go that far.
Tina, did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Like, my greatest experience was when we were trying to hit the world record at Dragon Con, and there were a bunch of us all dressed up. I was an Andorian, and that was the greatest like point in my Trekdom.
An Andorian experience, like a little Ewok.
Yeah. A what?
You said Andorian, like a little Ewok.
No,
Moon's of Endor, right?
What are you on? You're conflating two different things. I was a blue person with a.
That's where the Ewoks live, dude.
That's Endor, you fool. So Trekfest. So yeah, Little Riverside. So Little Riverside is only known for two. They're like 1,000 people. The town is tiny. They are known for two things. They're the future birthplace of Captain Kirk, and they have a casino. And so sometimes they'll pair like a concert at the casino with Trekfest. And so one of the years I went to a Heart concert, and then I went to Trekfest.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it's a good time. This year, so they usually have a few Star Trek celebrities. They had the classic series cast one year, and like George Takei loved being in that parade. You know, I mean, you put him in that car and send him down the road. He's like, "Hello, live long and prosper," and all that.
Yeah, he's always somewhat like excited about it. Like, out of all the people who enjoy what they did, like, he's very engaged with the fan base.
Yes, no,
many of them left. It's only him and Chekhov, right?
Well, that's and Shatner, of course.
Shatner,
but that's the thing.
I keep forgetting about Shatner.
God bless Walter Koenig. Walter Koenig will sit there like he's quietly dying inside, and Takei has all the energy.
I thought that dude was coming up on me in a Knoxville hotel room. You remember that? Or no, hotel. I was going up on the elevator, and somebody was like just behind me, and I was like, "This guy is tailing me." I was meeting my wife and my kids. It's Chekhov, the story, and I get on the elevator, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to fight this guy because he was like really close to me. He was in my personal space. I'm not thinking I don't have personal spaces. So we get on the elevator, and I'm like, I'm about to duke up, and it's this old guy. And I look at him and I'm like, "Oh shit, it's Chekhov." And I didn't say that. I was like, "You're Walter, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I didn't say nuclear vessels. I didn't say any of that. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I love your work." And he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And it was a long elevator ride. He was at the Knoxville Comic Con, and he was talking about how he takes his wife places, and he was like, "This is a really nice convention. It's a pretty small one, and I like meeting the fans." He was so nice.
That was a good con.
Yeah, we went to that one a few years back, right? Like 2019, I think. Yeah, it's been a long time. But yeah. Have you met any Star Trek people, Tina? Like actors?
I'm very weird about meeting people because I'm just like, I don't want to be that fan that like annoys someone or whatnot. Like, I see them, I've been in their spaces, but I've never gone up and like met them. Like, I actually William Shatner has a farm here where I live. And I actually, at the time in high school, like worked at the deli when he was buying the farm and like served him. And I didn't say anything. I was just like, here's your meat, sir.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Here's your meat.
Your meat.
He had honey turkey or something like that. But, you know.
Yeah, Josh.
I
That's
wish.
That's why you bring Omar. I'm gonna be that fan. He's gonna introduce him to somebody else that's famous. What's gonna happen?
I wish Andrew was here so he could tell you how William Shatner hit on his ex-wife.
Oh yeah.
At Joseph Beth bookstore.
Oh man, no.
And Andrew is one of the biggest trekkers I know, so he was all about it. Like he was like, "Oh my God, Captain Kirk just hit on my wife. This is amazing." Nice to meet you. No, she did not say that.
No, I didn't. I'm not one of those people. Like I would just be like, I recognize you, but I'm not gonna call attention to it. I don't want to be that person.
Omar, your favorite moment from Infinite Crisis versus your favorite moment from Legion of 30 Worlds, which is on Infinite Crisis. Infinite Crisis 100%. I do love Legion of 30 Worlds. I think it's a great Superman and it's more of a Legion story. But Infinite Crisis just had so many good, like, not to spoil anything, but one of my favorite moments is in issue number 1 where Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are arguing about how dark everyone has gotten in their world, right? And they're talking about, like, Clark gets on his high horse about just being, we're supposed to be an inspiration. And Bruce says, "You haven't inspired anybody since you died." And I was like, holy shit.
Sorry,
like,
loud, sorry.
Yo, man, you just got dunked, Superman. Like, that's one of my favorite moments. Like at the very beginning, because at that time, the DC universe was going into a very dark place. Like where they were like, we can't tell the difference between.
Wait, who wrote that?
Jeff Johns. We can't tell the difference between anti-hero or these vigilantes and us. Like something. This is after also something that Wonder Woman had done. And I don't want to spoil in case people haven't read it. So they're having this conversation. I was like, man, that was so freaking awesome. Yeah. So
2 things. Maybe as I'm getting older, I'm liking Superman more because if it's between Batman and Superman, it's always Batman, right? I don't want a Boy Scout. Mm-hmm. However, I'm wondering if as I get older, I'm having more. Superman is in my graces. Is that an idiom? I can't. Lars, help me. Words.
Does he give you the vapors?
No. Batman does. No, never.
They always want the bad boys.
And then secondly, Tina, when you were talking about meeting like famous people and such, when I think maybe the trick is you guys see something unique, right? For example, when I met John Leguizamo for the stupid
Toy Story.
No.
There's that. Let Tina cook. This is when Tina starts cooking.
I know where you're going.
And Tina's brain. I swear to God.
When I met John Leguizamo, and it's just, of course, they're just like, it's a ton of people just filing through, taking pictures. I said, I think you're a really good voice actor. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. And I was like, yes, I did. I got his attention. He was like, oh, thanks. Right? I was like, yes, I got John Leguizamo's attention. Yay.
Gio, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I don't think I've never been starstruck until talking to, I think, Chris Claremont the first time. Yeah. Like Chris Claremont the first time, because he embodied like so much of my childhood. Like it was such an awkward,
I get nervous talking to
when I went to shake his hand, and I was like, oh my God, I have been waiting to meet you all my life. And my brother, who was taking the picture, was like, holy shit, dude, that was like the longest handshake I've ever seen. It was really freaky. And I was like, I was like, what's her name, Kate Winslet in Titanic. I did not I didn't realize how long I was shaking his hand.
Oh, that's witty. That was witty.
And my brother, he was filming us. He was taking the picture. He was like, I'm sure you freaked him the hell out, man. Like he was like, I'm sure he's used to a bunch of nerds coming up.
Yes, I'm sure he's had worse. But yeah.
You were talking about this the other day.
Oh yeah,
it's the summer. It's 5 seasons. I know you love it. Just stick out.
About watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Actually, Curtis of all people is reading JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, he did. He did.
What were we gonna say, Lars?
Well, just if we're talking about elevators, so again, bringing it back to Dragon Con, if you've been to Dragon Con, there's certain hotels, and one of them, I know this sounds bizarre, but like the interior of it looks like a Borg cube. Okay, it is this truly huge space.
That was like a part of the Hunger Games where it was filming the Capitol. They used that inside of it because it's so huge and massive.
Yes. They've also filmed some of Loki at some of the Dragon Con locations. And in the central column is this elevator, and the elevators are outside. You know, they're like and they're transparent, so you can see from one elevator to the other elevator. So I was there dressed as the Dread Pirate Roberts. And my let's see, were we married? I think we were married at the time. Yeah, my wife at the time, she was Inigo Montoya. And yes. Oh, Dom, welcome.
Hey, Dom,
how are you guys doing?
I was about to wrap up, and then you're like coming in. I was waiting for you.
You literally told me to head in for like the last couple of minutes for the stream yesterday. So
wow, how did you read my mind that I was only going to go to 8:30? My God, dude.
I have no idea.
Great minds and all that. How are you, man? Out of the school phase, right? Getting ready for summer.
Yeah. Indeed, I wrapped up finals 1.5 weeks ago. Passed all of them. Final grade should be in coming soon. So trying to get back into the grind and gear of things. That's what we want to call it.
That's right. Hold on, Dom. I'm talking about smutting in an elevator. So
why do you always do this to poor Dom? Now Dom's like, oh, man,
so we're dressed as the Princess Bride characters, and like, you know, we're at Dragon Con, and you know, the mood struck, and before you know it, you're mashing lips, and it was good kissing. I mean, we were really going at it, and but see, as our elevator is hurtling upwards,
are you talking about kissing Chris Claremont? Who
no, my wife.
Oh,
my wife is cool.
To your wife. Okay, go ahead.
So so we're in the one elevator hurtling up at a high speed, but there's another elevator right next to us, and as we're going at it, I happen to look over, and there's an Indiana Jones in the next elevator, and he can see us. And he's going, like that. I felt quite validated. Yeah.
Aw. King of New York, appreciate your story.
Yeah.
So much crossover fan fiction there at Dragon Con.
Tina, is this the first time you've met Dom, or have you?
No.
You've done another stream with him.
We've done a stream before, yeah.
What furry would he be?
What furry would Dom be?
Yeah.
Phil Shatner.
He would be actually one of the Pokemon. Let's see.
Well, he owns a horse.
You give him a Pokemon. Go on, Tina.
Of course. I've got Falco from Star Fox.
Thank you, Tina.
So which Pokemon?
Tina?
You're gonna put me on the spot, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Hate your answer.
I don't know their names. Put me on the spot. We'll just say like, how about a Raichu?
Okay, I can deal with that.
Oh yeah.
I'll be the Alolan variant because I like the Alolan variant more than the regular one.
Wait a minute, you don't get to choose your furry. Only Tina gets to choose our furry.
I gave the class. He can choose what variety.
What variety?
Wait, what did you give me besides the owl? What'd you say? I got pissed and I didn't hear.
No, like some type of bird, like very like sort of like smart, intelligent, very thoughtful, like a
I don't like it.
Like a corvid or you don't okay.
No, I want to be a cat creature.
Oh, Lars is the owl.
Or horse.
Souls have horses have no souls.
No, I'm the meerkat. No more.
No, he's the meerkat.
I'm the meerkat. The owl is a good backup, though. I mean, in case the meerkat costume doesn't come through.
It was a really weird conversation.
Where would Bill Shatner be? Phil asked earlier.
Well, again, he owns a horse farm, so I think something horse themed is appropriate.
Yeah, I could see that.
I have feelings. I'm not going to express those.
About Shatner?
What?
Or Tiberius Kirk?
Shatner is not my captain.
He's not your captain?
Yeah.
No.
Picard! High five!
Picard, yes.
Oh,
I
you all are
take Janeway over him.
kids.
Yeah.
Who's your captain, Lars?
Do you do social media?
I mean, I like
Captain Jack from Doctor Who.
I like a lot, but I don't know. I don't necessarily have a favorite. I like a lot of them. Yeah, I like a lot of them.
Captain
Oh,
Marvel.
Jack Horseman.
BoJack Horseman.
Captain Britain.
Captain America.
I mean, but, I mean, Shatner, Patrick Stewart, Avery Brooks, they're all good in different ways.
Yeah.
Who's Avery Brooks?
Deep Space Nine.
Oh, you don't like Janeway?
I have a little hard time with her. She was an emergency casting. So first of all, Kate Mulgrew is from Iowa, so definite.
How did you not pick her?
Well, okay. So the thing is, she was emergency casting because weirdly they cast someone else as Janeway, and they begin filming the pilot, and it's only when they're filming the pilot that they're going, "Oh God, she is not going to work out."
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the problem was. I don't know. I don't understand how they didn't figure this out beforehand. I mean, the vetting they do. So like basically they had to be like, well, who is available for a 7-year contract?
Whoa.
In a hurry. And they came up with Kate Mulgrew. And I just don't. I think maybe with more considered casting, Janeway could have turned out.
A little bit better.
Yeah,
I like that. Did you watch Star Trek, Dom?
Hey, Richard.
I have watched 2 movies by force, and that's it.
By force.
Was it the J.J.
Abrams?
Abrams movies or the classic?
No,
Into the
somebody
Darkness
forced me into watching 2 random mid-2000s films,
Okay.
and that is my
mid-2000s.
exposure.
There aren't any mid-2000s.
No,
films.
Here comes the nerd.
Well, Nemesis. There's Nemesis.
There's Nemesis, but if you're thinking about the more recent stuff, it'd be like Into the Darkness, which was what, like 2013?
Was the captain a bald guy or Chris Pine?
I know the captain was definitely Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Then okay. No, Nemesis. You're right. Nemesis.
Okay.
Nemesis. So probably Nemesis, which is not a good one. Yeah. Yes, Genevieve.
You to correct Lars when he said there weren't any Star Trek in the early aughts.
Well, there was a conspicuous gap. Let's just put it that way. He said he watched a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who in the world is Genevieve Bujold? What else has she
She was
been
the first Janeway.
No, but what else has she been in? Genevieve?
I have no idea.
Bujold.
No
That name sounds familiar. Like, I know she's had the
Okay, technically, 2002 is not mid.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we had a gap.
I was like, wait, there was a gap. Yeah, okay.
That was early, yeah, because it's a gap because the next one's going to be the Abrams in 2009.
I said I corrected myself after Phil. In my defense.
Okay, yeah, I think 2002 to 2009. There's nothing in the middle there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We only have sirs here in America. We don't have. Well, no, we have misters. We don't have sirs, right, Melanie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely not.
Why am I
You're the only one here with an English master. Master's in English.
Lars isn't.
Lars, do you have a master's in English?
I just assume.
I just have an undergrad degree. No, but I always feel like Kate Mulgrew is a good actress. I mean, I've seen her in other stuff, and I think, and I'm like, oh yeah, she is very good, and I'm glad she's there. I don't know that she ever quite understood. It doesn't feel like she really understood Star Trek.
There's some really good episodes, but I think overall the seasons are kind of mid with her, and we came from a really strong captain. And then we kind of got her, which would have been great if we had nothing else, but we had stuff to compare it to. Yeah.
But if they hadn't been casting under crisis conditions, they might have got someone who just kind of understood better what was expected of them. I mean, if you're not used to the genre, it can be quite off-putting. Now, the trick as always is do what Patrick Stewart just did and go, okay, it's Shakespeare. You know what? I'm just going to go with the Shakespeare vibe. And there's all these weird aliens and costumes, but it's Shakespeare. And if you don't do that, or if you don't realize that you kind of just bring your normal acting skills onto it, it can be very off-putting. Yeah.
Dom, did you know that you were going to walk into a Star Trek conversation?
No.
Because we're old, Dom. I mean, this is what
I know a lot of people who watch Star Trek, even if I'm not familiar with it myself. I'm like, I respect it.
I've had
people like Spock.
You're an X-Men guy. Did you read Star Trek, the X-Men Star Trek comic?
No.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Yes.
I know it exists. I know
Wolverine got a Vulcan neck pinch from
I've
Spock.
never...
Mark Silvestri drew it, dude.
Oh.
He did,
yeah.
It's okay. Who wrote? Was it Mars? Who wrote that? Do you remember?
May have been Ron Mars. I'm not sure. No, I've just had to accept that I'm going to die an old Trekkie, and you know what? That's okay.
That's okay. That's actually a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's actually pretty wholesome. So.
Yeah.
You can come down and do some Star Trek fan films with us here.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, invite Lars, please. Dom.
My comic said Lovedale wrote it.
Lovedale. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Star Trek or Star Wars, Dom?
Star Wars.
Okay.
I grew up with Star Wars, so I can't. I didn't grow up with Star Trek.
That is a good question. What had more crossovers? Ninja Turtles has crossed over with just about everybody.
That's true.
But so is Star Trek. Star Trek has two.
The Turtles might just squeak that one out.
I think so. I think Turtles because they've gone everywhere.
They've gone everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Every single spot. I can't name you one thing that they haven't crossed over with.
They're crossed over with Naruto. I think it's one of the first American comics that is crossing over with a manga.
Oh,
like, right? Am I right, Tina? Is that the first American comic that crossed? I mean, we had Spider-Man manga, we had X-Men manga, but is it
and we've had like little cameos here and there, but I don't think it was ever like a true crossover. I think you might be right on that one.
Farscape, Josh, what a dork.
Yeah.
Who picks Farscape? I'm just kidding.
Actually, the correct answer is Doctor Who, if you're going to pick one.
Well, Doctor Who, yeah.
Sliders.
Maybe seasons
Quantum
1 and
Leap.
Sliders.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, after Doctor Who and Star Trek, Farscape is undeniably my favorite sci-fi show.
Oh.
Wait, go to this one really quick.
Wait.
From Star Trek, I was seeing if anybody knew what the first crossover. Who did Batman and Deadpool crossover with? My Hero Academia? Yeah, I'm wondering like the crossover. No, Deadpool and Batman did too.
What with?
Ninja High School meets Speed Racer and Show. But Ninja High School is a little bit different though, because Ninja High School was no. I guess you're right. It is an American manga. So I guess, yeah, you're technically right. Who was that said that? They get a no prize.
What's your favorite moment of Starry Trek? Wait, where is that? Let's see. From any Star Trek, what is your favorite moment?
Yeah, Dom.
You don't agree
what's your favorite moment from Star Trek, Dom? I'm curious.
When the weird aliens had
Star
sex
Wars.
with Sir Patrick Stewart. That's what I remember from the Nemesis movie. Was that?
Did they have sex?
What's your favorite moment from Star Wars then? Best moment in Star Wars.
I really liked the Darth Maul, or the last Darth Maul and Obi-Wan fight in the Clone Wars TV show.
That was really good. Yes, that was good.
Yeah, that was a show that I grew up with because it was airing on Cartoon Network. So like I watched every single Thursday afternoon. Put that on. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Double team up with my hero. Thank you.
Firefly is the correct answer. Sorry.
Firefly is the correct answer. That is correct.
Wait. Sorry, Richard. What was your question? Was it best and worst?
Best moment.
Just best. We're just. What is your favorite moment? A moment you didn't agree with. What about in Star Wars? A moment you didn't agree with, Dom.
Midichlorians.
Are you?
That's
Dom?
up there.
Thinking.
Everything in Episode 9, honestly. I seriously hate that movie.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've only seen it one time. I want to go back and revisit it because I was like, do I hate it, or is it just because I was so jaded by that point?
Midichlorians are like a near top for me. Yeah, man. When they said the moment that Poe, I think, Poe said Palpatine's alive, I jumped out of my seat in the movie theater. I said, there ain't no way. And my dad told me to sit down.
You damn right. Your dad told you to sit down. I paid for this movie. We're gonna watch it, Dom.
My mom did, but close enough.
It's like,
All
oh
right.
God, the kid's doing it again.
Tina, worst moment in Star Trek.
Worst moment in Star Trek?
Did you like
anything with the
first side?
Ferengi saying females? That's the worst moment.
What's that in? I'm sorry.
Deep Space Nine, basically, with the Ferengis. Like, I just don't really like Ferengi episodes. I mean, they're a species. It's okay.
Lars.
Worst or best moment in Star Trek?
No, give me your worst moment in Star Trek.
The whole of Discovery season 4. God,
wow,
gut-wrenchingly terrible. Well, Discovery is the most polarized show because honestly,
I didn't see you playing with your toys again, sir.
Discovery season 1 was a contender for the best show of the year. My God,
yeah, it was really good.
Outstanding. And then Discovery season 2, also a contender for the best show of the year.
What happened to this show?
I think they were rotating the showrunners like crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it started out with Brian Fuller, I think, and then
I love Fuller.
And Nicholas Meyer was also
the first season of Heroes was Brian Fuller, and then Pushing Daisies.
And Nicholas Meyer was also one of the people involved in season 1, but they kept rotating the showrunners. So like season 1, outstanding. Season 2, outstanding. Then season 3 actually is pretty good until Michelle Yeoh leaves.
She left?
She did actually. It was about 2/3 of the way through. Mm-hmm. And then the last of season 3 is starting to get noticeably shaky. And then season 4 is abysmal. It is abysmally terrible. And season 5 was not much of an improvement. It is shocking how much that show goes downhill. Now, some people are the exact opposite. Some people think that Discovery seasons 1 and 2 are the terrible ones and that 4 and 5 are awesome. These people deserve no pity, you understand. But they are out there. So yeah, Discovery, man. I mean, whereas like Star Trek Next Generation season 1 is obviously terrible. But I sat through all of Discovery seasons 4 and 5. I'm like, this is just because I'm an old Trekkie and I'm determined to keep up with it. So do watch Discovery, everyone. And then when Michelle Yeoh leaves, just stop.
Good advice.
I gotta say, I really enjoy the movies, like the Star Trek movies. Sure. They're all different in their own way. I thought one was obviously somebody had just finished watching 2001 and wanted to recapture that magic. It just didn't quite work. 2, of course, is a masterpiece. 3 was interesting how you go about resurrecting your friend with retcons. 4 is amazing, dude. 4 is my favorite. The Whales, right? Like that's the Voyage Home.
4 is the Whales, yeah.
Yeah. 5 is 5 undiscovered country?
Yes.
I like Quark.
Is that the one where
No, 5 is the Final Frontier. 5 is the Final
Frontier, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I guess when you're asking worst, Discovery, the horror of Discovery is fresher on my mind. Star Trek 5, I think it was just fairly recently, like a year and a half ago or something. And it has this, and I've seen it, but it has a reputation for being terrible. And I thought, you know what, I should maybe watch it just to reappraise it. Is it genuinely as bad as people say? I had to quit at the 45-minute mark.
Really?
I was
did it start off with a dance sequence from Uhura?
It doesn't start off with it, but it's in there.
It's in there. That's
hot. And I'm like, this does not work as a drama. This does not work as a comedy. This does not work as anything. It is such a catastrophe. I have to stop watching.
Okay, so. Brian has said 3 times now. V is the greatest. Enough said.
I will say V the mini. I will say V the miniseries is amazing.
It really is.
The TV show though, not quite.
Yeah,
but the miniseries was amazing. Nothing had ever been like there.
It was only this week that someone was reminding me that there was actually a TV show of Logan's Run. I think people forget that. They remember the movie because the TV show. Follow.
Yeah. It was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
It was very short-lived and it had a different cast. Yeah.
I've never seen older
movies. James, how do you know where he bought his?
There you go. Thank you, James.
But dang, you're so good because
somebody was asking.
You were asking, yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say for my answer, because I just recently watched some dumb YouTube video. Okay, the Next Generation episode where it's a time loop, and if Picard had only listened to Worf, they would have gotten out of it.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, and then they edited so that he actually listened to Worf in the end. Yay! Okay, that's what I picked for. Wait, what do I pick that for?
Are you picking for the worst?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Believe it or not, I can't read your mind. I know it's crazy.
I just recently watched that video. So.
Yeah. Contrary to your beliefs, I cannot read your mind. Farscape was excellent, even though it didn't really wrap up, and we got that movie, and it It was just those first.
It wrapped up well enough. Yeah, but you're right. It was just
it could have gone.
No, Farscape was
it was excellent,
outstanding show, just outstanding.
Yeah. Like the practical effects mixed with the CG, loved it, man.
I remember at the time I was working in LA for the Portal. Yeah, cause and effect. I was working in LA for the Portal site when Farscape came out. I remember, and I was not broadcasting that I was a sci-fi fan exactly, but I walked into the break room and people were talking about this new Farscape show, and they were like, "Oh, but they were objecting to all the sex in it." And I'm like,
"Oh, that's right."
I'm like, I don't see the problem here. You know?
Who was the actress? Rebecca Black?
Claudia Black.
Claudia Black. Oh my gosh, her voice.
She was outstanding.
Yeah, she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, how about X-Men and Spider-Man? For Spider-Man, it wasn't his fault.
Very negative here. I mean, it's worst.
Well, yeah, we're a positive, honest community.
Yes.
Oh, the Gwen Stacy.
Since Past?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I think I agree with that. I think Since Past.
That is not good.
More so than One More Day. Like I know people hate One More Day.
No, sorry. One More Day. Sorry, Gwen. Sorry, but
that's a quick change.
Mary Jane's my girl, and no.
I think for me it's Since Past.
Who gives? Okay, I just.
Yeah, One More Day was.
I just I don't want to sound like an ass, but that's not realistic. You don't give up your marriage for. Okay, I can't say it. I can't say it out loud because I feel like I'm an ass.
Next time you're offered a demonic pact. See how you.
But it wasn't him. In the end, it was Mary Jane that offered it.
No, and Mary Jane, you don't do that either.
So she was unselfish.
I must be an asshole.
Like that to me, maybe gets a pass. But Since Past was like Gwen Stacy and Norman. Get the fuck out of here! No, she's dead, and I'm like, that's like pissing on her grave. No. And then I remember thinking, like, JMS was like, well, that wasn't the original idea. The original idea was going to be hers and Peter's kids. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. So,
quickly going back to Farscape, there was this incident.
That was Farscape, Lars.
There was
Spider-Man.
Hold on. Yeah, but I've forgotten this. It came back to me. There was this incident involving Farscape because Farscape was a show with a bunch of very weird aliens. And they had weird customs and particularly weird noises. I mean, Farscape, just weird noises would emanate from your screen. So one time we were watching Farscape reruns. I mean, I'd already seen it. And I was in the kitchen and I was cooking chicken for dinner. Okay. So my wife is in the living room. She's watching Farscape and I'm in the kitchen cooking chicken. And I'm just kind of like, sampling the food here to see how it is. And there was this string of like chicken fat that gets lodged in my throat, and I start gagging. I start gagging horribly. I mean, it felt like I was in legit danger of choking to death on chicken fat, and I just this horrible thing. I go through this horrible ordeal. Finally, get the chicken fat out, and like I did go to my wife and go, I was choking to death in there. Why didn't you help me? And she goes, I heard these weird noises, but I thought it was Farscape.
You thought it was Farscape?
That was a good story. That was a good story.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. And that goes along with, who said, who's talking about the weird noises?
Yeah. Can we go back to Spider-Man, please?
Yeah, we can go back to Spider-Man now. Sorry.
All right. Dom, what's the worst thing that happened or what's the worst moment
X-Men.
In Spider-Man? And X-Men. Which one? Oh.
Yeah, the Norman retcon with Gwen is not great. And I was even surprised that, like, I was reading through, when I read through Spencer's run in singles, I was surprised that he brought it up again in issue, I think 850 or Legacy 850, issue 49. I was like, why are we doing this? If it feels weird, the aura around it is weird, the atmosphere around it is weird, I will never get past it. I think for X-Men, reading through Chuck Austin's X-Men with the retcon of with Azazel as Kurt's dad was not a great moment for me.
Sorry, Morphin does bring up a good point. I mean, I did stop. I was so pissed when I was a kid that there was a clone. I hated it. I don't know. I don't know now. Okay, go ahead.
X-Men is tough because there's been a lot of low points and a lot of high points for
You should have
X-Men.
never started it, Fernando.
At what point can I quit Nick Spencer's run? Oh, actually, Nick Spencer's run, I didn't mind at all. I thought it was pretty good in hindsight. Compared to, well, never mind. Moving on. X-Men. Oh my gosh.
You have like 100 to choose from. It's okay.
Cyclops fighting with birds is one of the lowest. Absolutely one of the worst X-Men. Like, what the hell? I don't even remember. Was it Joe Casey or was it Joe or Siegel? I can't remember.
Did he win or lose?
Cyclops always loses.
Okay.
I'm with Dom. A lot of the Chuck Austin stuff, but the Peter Milligan era surprisingly was, and I love Peter Milligan ever since Shade the Changing Man, and I love what he was doing with Ecstatics, X-Force before that. So I was excited for him to take over X-Men. Oh, dude, that was so bad.
Logan's saying, huh? To your response.
Yeah. Cyclops fighting birds. So maybe the Draco might be the worst, although like Billy Tan's artwork or Philip Tan is actually okay. Poptopia, that was kind of stupid too. Man, there was a lot of stupid things the X-Men have done.
Are they just birds? Like, you need to explain this story.
Let me go get it.
Okay, or you could just like, are they birds or anthropomorphic?
I'm confused as well. Although Cyclops is so tormented, if he's just like an old man screaming at birds, I guess I wouldn't be entirely shocked.
I know he was in Alaska, so I guess they're Alaskan birds.
Oh man, Jean Grey reading Iceman's Mind.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
It was Steven Seagal, not Steven Seagal. Cyclops fighting birds. This era of X-Men that has not been collected in our format.
I totally skipped that. Yeah.
It's got at least good artwork.
Hey, it's got Joe Matt art.
No, it's Chris Bachalo during this era.
Serious? Interesting.
Yeah. I think by this point, Joe Matt had left X-Men. Actually, I think Ed Norton not Ed Norton. What's his name? Is it Ed Norton? He might have been a comic book artist too. Let's see. Yeah, Dan Norton. Dan Norton draws this villain issue too. But it's the X-Men fighting birds. And then at this point, I was like, what the hell is going on with the X-Men? Now, let's not also forget the X-Men got canceled too in the Silver Age. So it's not like those stories are mind-blowing.
No.
Right? So, yeah. There's a lot of high and low points, especially, been around since 1963. So, you're going to have highs and lows. But, yeah. There's been
Logan
some
asked this question, so Logan's worst X-Men moment.
That's up there for me too. I hated Deadly Genesis. I thought I was excited. I was like, Ed Brubaker, oh my gosh, he's so good. Or man, even worse was I think Jeff Lemire's Extraordinary X-Men. Like that didn't even feel like a Lemire book. Didn't even feel like a Jeff Lemire book.
It didn't have anything to do with like a father and son relationship?
Nope, they were in limbo.
Oh.
And that was cool. And it had Humberto Ramos on artwork. Yeah. But yeah, it's ups and downs.
Can they beat Apocalypse? But can they be the greatest fellow birds?
It's a weird Trial of Gambit is probably the worst retcon for me. As a fan of X-Men for so many years, the Trial of Gambit was one of the worst retcons. But X-Men fighting Ice Cream with Obnoxio the Clown, which is, I don't think they've even collected it. So it's not like it's in continuity, right?
No.
Yeah, it's Uncanny X-Men 357.
They're fighting.
That moment's living.
All right. Dom, what's coming up on the channel this week?
Well, I picked up Lars.
It's a great question. I've got an overview of Absolute Red Sun coming out hopefully on Thursday, and the same for an overview of the DC Finest Batman, The Killing Joke, and Other Stories trade paperback.
Somebody asked earlier about that, Dom. If something was in it. Sorry, whoever asked. I can't remember what you asked. Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
We've got the DC poll closing tomorrow.
Okay.
8 p.m. So go and vote. Yeah.
If you haven't had a shot yet to vote for stuff that's OOP, be sure
Fine.
to do that before the print or the poll goes OOP as well. What else is going on in the channel, Mr. Omar?
Yeah, tomorrow the Marvel trades, and I don't think Maddie is gonna have an old reader, new reader, so there'll be another video coming out from me. Wednesday is when the hidden gems are coming out. I don't know if I'm doing Reels Talk or not. And Thursday should be the Absolute Red Sun, as well as maybe another video, and then the upcoming collected editions on Friday for the month of June. Yes, so lots of things happening, lots of busy days.
Thank you, Fernando.
So, to answer Mike's question, this is where I feel, just famously of the channel, I am not a rigid, hardcore devotee of nearly anything. If something's not, I'm not that sort of individual who would buy an Onslaught Omnibus if it were offered. Even though I think we all know who on the channel would do that. So Spider-Man, I mean, I'm aware of all these hideous eras, and I either didn't really read them that closely or just I don't own them. So I own Death Walking Wolf, I own Kraven's Last Hunt, I own Spider-Verse. I don't actually own that much. So if Spidey's terrible, it registers less with me because, I'm just like, okay, that's bad. I won't read it or I will not buy it. The worst Spidey. I will say, in terms of X-Men, I smelled that Onslaught was going to be terrible. And
did you back in the day?
When they were starting the run up to Onslaught, because they had that story idea that like the Juggernaut would go flying and land somewhere, and they're like, Juggernaut, who did this to you? It's like, oh, Onslaught did this to me, and you're supposed to be afraid. There's something about the name Onslaught that I just thought this is going to be shit. And boy, it did not disappoint. So.
Comics for years,
yeah. So I would say Onslaught kind of by default is my worst X-Men moment. And then best Spider-Man. I don't originally follow Spider-Man as much as some. The method that John Byrne used to bring back Aunt May from the dead. although I'm not really objecting to bringing back Aunt May from the dead, but the means by which he did it was gut-wrenchingly terrible. That's a good question. Involving they hired this actress who is literally dying to give her last performance. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, but all the bad Spider-Man stories you're mentioning, it just pricks my flesh less because I'm just like, well, I'm not reading them.
And Metaphor, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It's bringing up a good point. Of course, editors are involved as well, just like in Since Past
every book,
right? Like it's not just the
absolutely,
absolutely. So 100%. Thank you for making that point. And Project Viking, thank you for plugging the Discord that on our $5 Patreon tier. If you would like to have a positive place to talk about comics, please consider joining. This is the way Omar can make these videos on a daily basis. It's his job. And secondly, thank you to our moderators who keep the place positive. Thank you.
Or if you want to talk about basketball with me every 2 weeks, I'm also in there to talk basketball.
Apparently there's a sports ball thing happening there
as the regulars can attest, we're normally much more positive than we've been on this show. What's the most?
No, we're asking the questions. What's the worst? That's it. So we were being honest.
Richard said that you disagree with. Richard was very positive with the question.
Oh,
And Silhouetted Animator, thank you for the super chat. I need a Flaming Carrot compendium badly.
There is a Flaming Carrot big collection from Dark Horse. I think it's out of print right now. So they probably will bring it back to print though. All right, let's do one more question.
Mega Shrimp, sir.
Hey, Mega Shrimp.
And this one actually is from Richard as well.
Perfect.
And he wanted to end on this. What are yours and everyone's thoughts on this new era of X-Men? I like adjectiveless X-Men. I like Cyclops in it. I like how I like the pacing, I believe, because I'm reading in singles, right? And it's different than reading in a trade, but I was like back 4 issues and I picked them all up, single issues. Like I like adjectiveless X-Men. I've only read a bit from the crossover, The Road to Grey Malkin. The which one was Rogue?
She's with
got
Uncanny.
Uncanny. And I was like, I don't know if I would like Uncanny, but I'm like adjectiveless.
Okay.
You like
I have read
Peach Momoko.
that's different.
Ultimate. Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Well, he's talking about From the Ashes. I have read every single one of the trades that are. I just did a video on the Wolverine one by Saladin Ahmed today. Dom, what about you? What have you liked? What do you think of this era of X-Men?
Honestly, I think the one thing I really like about the specific era of X-Men is all of the spin-off titles that they've been doing for solo characters, whether it's Eliana getting her own book, Jean getting her own book, Aurora getting her own book, Mystique getting her own book. I think that has been the coolest thing. Just even if it's a 5-issue, 10-issue run, at least giving somebody solo, maybe they've never had a solo title before, the runway to be able to shine with their own stories. Laura getting her own book alongside Logan. I think it's been the coolest thing that Brave Wart and Co. have done with the line. Again, even if it doesn't work, at least they're giving a shot to different characters that might have not had the limelight otherwise.
I forgot X Factor because I never read X Factor, so it wasn't to me. I don't see these characters as out of character. I liked X Factor. Yeah.
For me, I think so far I have enjoyed Adjectiveless X-Men. I've enjoyed, surprisingly, because I was waiting to hate it because my good friend Peter and most people that I see in the comments hate Uncanny X-Men, and I actually dug it. Like, I have a couple problems with it, but then again, I have a couple problems with a lot of X-Men titles when they get relaunched. But I think it was a fun story. I don't see the big hate for it, so I'm curious. I want to talk to him about it. I was hoping he'd show up. Surprisingly, I did not like NYX, and I love Lansing and Collins. Like, I think those guys are amazing writers. So I was really disappointed that I did not like that. Phoenix is somewhere in the middle. Like, it's weird. Corsair, like, it's weird to see like Corsair hitting on his son's
daughter-in-law
or daughter, right? That's
daughter-in-law.
That is a really weird scene that I was like, I don't know if Corsair in Phoenix.
Okay.
Let me see what else was there. X Factor. They did my boy Rusty wrong, and I was excited, and then I'm like, what the hell? And then, but I can see that. I can see why people
I would like Exceptional.
Exceptional.
I'm glad you do though.
The problem with Exceptional is that it took 5 issues to set up this team. That is way too long. Like, issue 4 is when they're like, let's come up with code names and tell a little bit about ourselves. That is way too long when comics are $3.99, $4.99. Like, I read them in trade. So the problem was, like, by the time I get to the 5th issue, we don't even have a villain. There's no villain. It's a crossover with X-Force. I actually liked X-Force. I thought X-Force was a good run. I like, again, one of the characters got done dirty, but I actually enjoyed X-Force. What else was there? X-Factor, it kind of pissed me off at times, but also fun, and I can see why people liked it because it reminds me a little bit of Peter Milligan's Ecstatics.
Yeah, just because I like
Wolverine is kind of middle of the road. I like the villains they're bringing in. I like the concept of this new villain. What's the other title that was really? I think that's it, right? I haven't read Dazzler or Storm yet. The trades came in.
Are you talking about Cable Love? What's it called? Love and
Chrome, baby, with David Papos.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it?
I just interviewed him the other day.
I don't like Deadpool or Cable being in love. I want them to be together with each other.
Wait, what they do is not love, baby.
No, I read a couple of issues. I'm like, I don't want it to be
what
love.
They do is not love.
What about? Let's see. We do have a super chat here, but Lars or Tina, are you reading any
new X-Men
titles?
The last thing I read was when I did Old Reader, New Reader with Maddie, and it was Dazzler, Jubilee, and X-23.
Oh my God.
Their little escapade. That was amazing.
Exterminators is super fun.
Exterminators by Leah Williams. That one?
Leah Williams and Carlos Gomez. Oh my goodness.
That was amazing.
Okay. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Did you like it? You didn't like?
I have okay. So my feelings on that, or my thoughts on that, are it's weird that they were doing all these sexual jokes, right?
I get
If
you,
a
but
man
they
had
were
written
also
that,
like girls
if
getting
a guy had written that, like Chris Claremont, they would have been calling his ass out, like they are over sexualizing these characters. This is why women should be writing comics. And I thought, what the hell? This is more sexual than Chris Claremont's X-Men. And you read it, so you know what I'm talking about.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Omar, they got
No,
Carlos
I'm not
Gomez
either, but
to
I'm just
draw
saying
that
that,
book, and you know exactly like what he's
What's
there
that?
for. To, you know, so.
No, what did you say, Dom? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, like, you get somebody like Carlos Gomez who is known for cheesecake, like they knew what they were doing. Like, I'm not.
It is funny that that's the loophole, right? It's like, yeah, we can have this kind of comic as long as we get a lady to write it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like it's okay if she does it. But I get where you're coming from, but I actually really enjoyed it. I think that was
it was a fun
hilarious and
comic. I
really
liked it
fun.
too.
It was fun. And Silhouette Animator, thank you for the super chat. My dad used to love the 60s radio show
that.
Chicken Man. Well, there's a couple of more comments
About Chicken Man?
Yeah. Let's see. Ever heard of that? It was like at Adam West style comedy radio program.
I don't know that one.
I'm good. Silhouette Animator, let me give this a try. Chicken Man, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Is that the song? No, I don't know what the song is. I was just making it up.
Nocturne showed up. I saw that Nocturne showed up. So it was
but
good to see him.
thank you for mentioning
I didn't even mention the pickles. You did, Nocturne. So that's on you. That's on you. That's on you.
Kings of New York is like King. Sorry, of New York is like King Kelly's current run.
Kelly.
Joe
Mom.
Kelly, Amazing Spidey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm late. I completely forgot.
It's almost over.
almost
Just because you showed up.
It is almost
Manga
over.
stream. Asking for a manga
Yeah,
stream.
Tina.
Sure.
That's all Tina. Look at all those books behind her. You read Wolverine's Revenge. Thank you, Edu. It's good to see you. They could have had Greg Land if you wanted cheesecake, or Ed Bennis. All right, let's start wrapping up. Dom, where can people find you, buddy, when you're not hanging out with me here on Near Mint Condition?
Besides all of the stuff here, obviously on Near Mint Condition, I got a couple of overviews to record in the next couple of days. You can check me out on my channel at Dom of X, where I am back to uploading because my schedule has finally opened up where I'm not studying. It feels like 24/7.
Awesome.
You can also check me out at comicreleases.com. We've got all of the collected editions from pretty much every single publisher up till February of next year in our master list. And I do curate the site for that, and of course all of the other social medias. And yeah, I got a lot of cool upcoming stuff, so check me out there.
Awesome. And Larzo, where can people find you?
Yes, Lars Pearson, publisher and editor-in-chief of Mad Norwegian Press. We are at madnorwegian.com. We have a ridiculous number of books on this Doctor Who show, including the timeline, A History, which the definitive timeline to Doctor Who, which I co-write with Lance Parkin, over 1 million words. God, it's a lot. It is a intimidating cathedral. So,
and Tina, when you're not hanging out with me, what do you do?
I pretty much just hang out with you and film TikTok. So
yeah, that's it. No, you're on Near Mint Collective. You're
following
supposed to plug Near Mint Collective
on TikTok. Please do so. Ask some questions. We filter through them. I ask Omar, "Hey, do you want to answer this or not?" And sometimes he says yes. Sometimes he's like, maybe later.
Well, when people are asking me, can you like do a quick reading order of all of Batman? I'm like, I can't do a TikTok on that.
That's like
hours. Dom knows I've been working on Avengers reading order for YouTube.
It's 100% true. I helped him during studies.
Yeah, so
got a lot of packages in the mail. Oh, look at all the pickles. Thank you, James.
So everybody, thank you so much
real,
for being
real
a part
quick
of
to Mr. Tex, because he asked if I'm I do have a brand new channel that popped up, but I don't think I'm ready to launch it yet. But when the Switch 2 comes out, I'll let you know more about it.
Okay.
Oh. Yay.
So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button on the way out. Thank you for being a huge part of this 9 years. 9 years. Why can't you do a TikTok on the history of Marvel? Oh my God. Apparently, you don't need me. You got AI bots to do that now. And some 14-year-old kid. Anyway, but that's it, everybody. We are out of here. Have a wonderful evening, morning, wherever you're from.
Thank you for the kind
Thank you,
words.
buddy.
And Mr. Tay say, okay. Okay. Major congratulations on 9 mighty years. And thank you again for everything you've continued to do for this community and the greater world of comics readership. You are...
I'm going to assume...
a pickle.
Awesome.
That's what we're gonna...
That's what he was going to say.
You're a pickle.
I am a Wolverine. That's my furry. All right, get us out of here, Melanie. Have a great evening, everybody.
Stay minty.
Out of here.
Good night.
Night.